And as if by magic, we appear. Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to WOR Legacy Division. No, don't adjust your headsets, don't adjust your screens. It is us on a Monday night, and hopefully it's going to be really good in terms of the action at the home of British motorsport. It is the Silverstone, the Silverstone International Circuit for the British Grand Prix for round 13, round 14 even, of the championship. My name is James Head. I'm going to be taking through the stream, of course, as always, on this fine Monday evening, even. And joining me in the commentary box is, sadly, the man who sadly beat us on Saturday. But the less I say about that, the better. It's Mr. Jota. Jota, how you doing?
We should be in for an absolute blinder for certain. I've got a bit of an issue with you at the moment. I can't seem to hear you, so hopefully, fingers crossed, that can be corrected. I'm not sure if that's something on your side or mine, but nonetheless, we should be in for an absolute blinder of a race here tonight. I think the British Grand Prix obviously always brings some kinds of spicy affair, and of course, a potential championship-winning race tonight as well. So that is going to make for a very fun time as well. ET8 and, of course, NVR still fighting out with Team Shazoo at the top of the standings.
Apparently the streamer's gone, I've been told, potentially as well here. So this is going to be very interesting to see. I might disconnect from the Discord call, and then I'll rejoin it and see if that does anything. Hopefully it might do. Hopefully it fixes things. Hopefully I can just come in and say, Jota, are you here?
Yeah, loud and clear now, finally. I don't know what happened there. Seems like you just cut out on me, but fingers crossed, everything should be all good now.
It's all good. It is all good. Fantastic stuff. Neville saying apparently the stream has gone. I can definitely tell you that the stream is live, and apparently the stream is there. So hopefully everything is okay in terms of the stream. However, it is not. So I'm clueless as to what's going on right now. Oh, no, I can see the race results screen. There we are. We should be all good. Race results, of course, from last week. Of course, it was Cameron Dowd who took the race win. The king of Portugal, as I called him last week, with an 18.4 second victory, the biggest margin we've seen all season. Hazara there in second, Tom there in third. Team Shazoo with a 1-3 at the end of last week's racing, even in Portugal. And because we had that mystery track, because I kind of gave them the 1-3, to be honest, and well, Hazara's podium, I think Team Shazoo are pretty much within reach of the standings. They've got a 74-point advantage over ET8. As long as they outscore ET8 by 2 points, I believe here, or as long as Team Shazoo outscore ET8, they are crowned champions. ET8 need to outscore Team Shazoo by 2 points, I believe, coming into tonight for them to stay within title contention. And Novus Racing, I believe it's 29 points that they need to try and get within title range on Team Shazoo. But Jota, Team Shazoo obviously out on top. ET8 second, Novus there in third. Really should make for an interesting night's worth of action, I think, out on track with how Team Shazoo have been going. Surely they are the team to beat.
Yeah, no, but the British Grand Prix always brings a bit of a spicy affair, doesn't it? But the drivers will be going out there getting themselves ready for a track that I think everyone is all familiar with, of course, one of the oldest tracks in Grand Prix racing. And I think Team Shazoo are showing exactly what they're worth. We're bringing out Cameron Dowd, you know, they're, of course, the man that's got a bit of a reputation now of being one of the next drivers out towards the future. And, of course, never discredit Shazoo Tom as well, leading at the front. So they are pushing to take the title tonight. Once again, though, ET8 fielding a slightly reduced lineup, no disrespect to Enzo and to Hazara, not their fastest driver lineup here tonight as well. And then Novus Racing going out of their way to field Kai Pearson, at the front alongside Liam Bowman. So they're throwing everything at it as well to stay within touching distance. As you say, 29 points is what they need to outscore Shazoo by. Very doable when 40 points are on the line for a race win, though. So let's see what they've got. First off, we've got Q1 to deal with first.
We have got Q1 to deal with first, indeed. Furious and Hazara have set lap time so far, and it's at a soft compound size. Now Lou coming through the final corner on the run to the line for BRT. 25.4 from his perspective. Not a bad lap there at all from him. People saying potentially that the stream is lagging. Maybe reset your devices. I think it looks all fine potentially on my end. I hope it is anyways. It does look okay. But it is lagging, I'm going to say, on my end on iPad, so it might just be a YouTube thing. If it is, just restart your devices or whatever, just restart the stream even. Looks all okay to me, however, I do see what everyone is on about the stream freezing. So yeah, there we are. Furious out on top, Hazara second, Nassim there in third earlier on. If we have to go radio commentary, we will for Q1. Enzo has left the lobby there as well, so hopefully he can get back in. But Furious out on top, TTM I think are an underdog team coming into tonight. I think they're the team to watch out for potentially as well in terms of results. Allison and Furious being their lineup. Their strongest lineup, I think, for quite a few rounds for TTM, and obviously proving that with Furious out on top.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what TTM have got coming up, actually going through the second part of the this qualifying session, actually. So you'd expect both of the drivers through to get through to Q1. Q2, Q3 will be a push for sure, will the Williams outfit for TTM. But next season is where I'm going to be keeping my eyes out for them, because I have a sneaking suspicion that they're going to be building a little bit of a pipeline for the new game cycle. So worth keeping an eye out on TTM in the later rounds, but they've certainly got to finish this one off at the moment, and I think fielding their best lineup here shows that they're going to try and push as hard as they can to try and get into the top 5 if they can help it.
Yeah, definitely. So it does look like it is lagging slightly. So what I'll do is I'll quickly kick to the intermission screen and try and fix the Elgato. That might be the issue that is going on here. I hope it isn't. I hope it is not my Elgato on its way out, because that'll be absolutely brilliant. But hopefully we can get this sorted. I'm just going to try and deactivate it and reactivate it again to see if that does anything, and then also to do properties and things like that. But while we're on this intermission, hopefully we can just try and get this fixed. That might be now better. Try that. Let's see how that works. Furious out on top. Romeo Chiavelli there in second. Azara there in third. Romeo there currently in second. Not a bad run at all from his perspective. WOR currently cooking. Keki currently cooking as well to go into third. Allison is on a run with a 27.2 as well. Furious there on top. Romeo in second. Keki there in third. Hopefully all of it has been fixed. I was recording a little bit of gameplay early on for an incident that I had in my race on Saturday, so that might have been the reason why it has all gone kaput. Liam Bowman as well, just still up on a run as well, but Allison coming through the middle sector, 1 or 2 flat, well on it from the man of TTM.
Yeah, and to keep an eye out as well in second place as well, the WOR esports driver Romeo Chiavelli. Good lap initially out the box of that 125.244. So WOR trying to, obviously they've got nothing really to play for. They've come too far late into this championship, of course, in the demise of F7R esports. But both the TTM boys coming across the line to go fastest with that 25.1 initially out the blocks. But yeah, Romeo Chiavelli immediately want to put a little bit of pressure maybe on TTM in this game, in this particular race anyway. So that's one to watch. Tom just started a lap though. He's just heading through turn 4-5 at the moment, so he's going to be one to watch as he's just coming around with the LS Open.
He is indeed coming now down in toward the Wellington straight, down in towards Brooklyn's corner, and a 27.1 in the first sector from Tom. Not looking too bad at all. Liam Bowman through the middle sector split. Oh, what a 1.8 in the middle sector. Electric from Liam Bowman in that middle sector. 2 tenths quicker than Allison. We have been told potentially 0.5, 0.6 potentially in Q2, Q3 are ones to watch out for. Liam Bowman certainly could be on that. Kai Pearson, the WR Console Tier 1 champion now, goes quickest. And NVR are going to make it a 1-2, but I think it's going to be Liam Bowman ahead of Kai Pearson to the line, and he does 24.8 compared to Kai Pearson at a 25 flat. That is an electric time from the Flying Scotsman. He's in full flying order early on. Kai Pearson in second, NVR 1-2. NVR seem to love Silverstone.
Yeah, they absolutely do, and I think that's just immediately showing exactly what they want to put on the table here. They're going to try and take this Cup Championship all the way to the final race of this season as it stands. They're showing their pace immediately out of the blocks, but the first one to come across the line of Team Shazoo with a representative that time will be Tom, with a 25-0, splitting both of the Novus Racing drivers, and that will be a little bit of a gulp for Novus Racing, because that immediately shows that, and no disrespect to Tom, but their second fastest driver currently splitting the Novus Racing team when they need to outscore them by 29 points.
Yeah, and Cameron Dowd, they're currently not setting a lap time. Cameron Dowd, 29.3 from Cameron Dowd, the PSGL PSF1 runner-up, and also runner-up, of course, in WR Console Tier 1 this season. Cameron Dowd does come into this race, though, Jota, in fine form. 3 consecutive wins to his name, including on Friday night in Brazil in the season finale. He is the future of F1 sim racing. He's starting up on a lap. I'm going to put the James Head bias to good effect once again by running above them in through the left-hander now of turn number 4 at the loop, and then through turn number 5 at Aintree Corner, of course named after the famous Grand National track. That hosts, of course, the horse racing these days, formerly, of course, hosted the Aintree Grand Prix and the British Grand Prix in the 1970s. Cameron Dowd comes through the left-hander of turn number 6 at Brooklands, through the right-hander of turn number 7, and he's a second up on his time through that first sector. So Cameron Dowd He does like Silverstone, probably not one of his favourite tracks, I'll be honest, on the calendar, but he's now coming through Copse Corner, the middle of the right-hand now turn line, middle part of the lap, and Cameron Dowds is looking really hooked up on this lap right now.
Yeah, it certainly is it as well. Just keep your commentary in check there, James, and try not to show any kind of bias, otherwise one person will call you out on it. Going through the right-hander into Stowe as well, not calling any specific person out, James, what are you talking about? Going through the left-hander into the final couple of corners at the moment is Enzo Soom, because I'm just keeping an eye out on how ETA are going to do with their two not-so-fastest drivers, but go third fastest again, splitting Novus rating 1 and 4 at the moment. So Enzo throwing a bit of shade at the ETA boys for their fielding the particular lineup we've got, but Enzo showing that he's as fast as Tom at the moment. Cameron Dowds coming across the line with another 25-0 as well, and that puts now Novus racing 1 and 5.
Does put them 1 and 5 indeed, and I think with Enzo Soom's lap time really sets him in. I'm seeing there in the chat, is Romeo safe in the Discord? I don't think he is personally. If I was in Romeo's shoes down in 11th position, I'd actually be going out for another lap. Daniela Parodi, I'd be going out for another lap because it looks like Nassim Raphael are on lap times right now. The likes of Crowding on the lap. BRT Lou I'm on board with actually on a lap time right now, coming through the left-hander of Chapel at the end of the middle sector. And he is on it as well, with a 1 or 2 flat. So he's around Allison perspective and Agonized perspective. So he's looking pretty good as BRT Lou. We'll see what the EPL guys are doing out on track. They're coming through the middle sector right now with both of their cars, Nassim and Raphael, 14th and 15th. Lou now, though, into the final couple of corners. Cloud beginning to build over the circuit, pretty much like it has done in Sunderland all day today at least. Lou on the run to the line, goes 6th, so not a bad run at all from him. Is a 25.103 safe enough? I think it is, but anybody on the 25.2, especially from Romeo downwards, are in trouble.
Yeah, I agree with that one, actually. Lou's going to be, I think, reasonably okay. I think, actually, Allison and Furious would be wise to just see if they can improve the lap time a little bit. I think that's just the ever nature of WOR legacy this season, that every 100th of a second is the difference between you being knocked out of qualifying and staying in through to the next round. So, pretty important that the drivers have another go at this one here. Gatkowski down in 13th.
Gatkowski down in 13th. How the hell Nassim's ended up in the gravel coming through the final corner is absolutely beyond me. Clearly made a mistake on that lap. Raphael there goes into 14th. He looks potentially in trouble going on to his final runs. But one thing that we haven't mentioned around this track, and judging by this weather beginning to build over the circuit, rain out on track. Are we due for a little bit of rain towards the end of this session? And if we are, how is that going to play into the hands of everyone else further down the field? Because it looks like to me, the rain is building over the circuit. I haven't been told that it's going to be raining in thing, but Dirk has mentioned very interestingly in the Discord, it depends on when the rain comes. So they're clearly expecting rain at the end of the session. I think, honestly, the rain will probably fall in the next 2 minutes or so. So they've got to get another run in, and they've got to come out now to do it.
Yeah, track conditions are deteriorating out there at the moment with humidity starting to rise, so lap times are not going to be maybe as quick as they were around about 10 minutes ago, so drivers will be keen to just try and get out there and get a lap in as quickly as they possibly can. They've got one EPL driver through in Raphael. Nassim currently on a lap at the moment to try and get through to Q2. EPL actually on the back of some good form at the moment. Invalidated lap as it currently stands for Nassim, but he'll have another go at this one if he's got enough fuel, which I don't think he does actually on this one, so surely he'll be coming into the end of this now, and he is. He's diving straight to the pit lane. Get a new set of tyres on and have another go at this one if you can, son, because you've got an opportunity here. Ego Jellin as well down the order for the Cedar Phoenix Igniters in 17th, so expecting a bit more pace from him, and Gatkowski actually as well, down in 13th place as well. So CPI not feeling very comfortable out there at the moment around Britain, and now with the conditions starting potentially to deteriorate, they may find themselves in even more trouble.
Definitely so, and Igor Jelen through the first sector is a 10th down through that first sector. Obviously, we rolled on board with him in that Hungarian qualifying that he picked up for CPI at the start of the season. Runs wide there coming through Luffield at turn number 7, now through turn number 8 at Woodcote on the run there down in towards Copse Corner at turn number 9, pretty much halfway through the lap. You can take that, of course, flat out in F124, so I've been told. I just want to drop a little hint there as to what the track might be like on the new game. Now coming to the left-hander of Maggots, Beckett, and then in towards Chapel, and then down in towards Stowe at turn 15, and it's a 1 or 2.1 in the middle sector. Igor Jelen is not on it at all. 25.3, his personal best. Raindrops are very much near here in the vicinity of the track. His former airfield circuit, of course, here in Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire is now coming through the left-hander of turn number 16 at Bay. Vale, and then in toward Club Corner at turn number 18. On the run toward the line with Igor Jelen. Does he improve in the final sector? He does, very minimally though. 0.05 of a second improvement. Not a bad improvement, but currently Igor Jelen is out. Gatkowski, however, is looking a bit more prominent. He's a 10th up in this middle sector, now coming through Stowe, but he catches on the outside curb, unsettles the car, and now in towards Vale and Club. This is going to have to really be a test of the driver's skill. Now, Gatkowski the pole, coming through the final corner, on the run to line. Does CPI do it? He's up into 12th. But Romeo Chiavelli is 0.009 of a second behind him, and he's just retired into the pit lane. So that's a sign of things to come. Is the rain going to fall very soon? And is Gatkowski safe?
Gatkowski definitely lost time going through Stowe. He missed his apex by a country mile, actually. So CPI really not comfortable out there at the moment. And what did I say about that one? Keep an eye out on the hundredths and the thousandths of a second, because that's the difference between you being in and out of qualifying. As it stands, Igor Jelen will be knocked out by 0.004 of a second to NLR's Keke in the Ferrari. So he's on a lap at the moment, is Keke as well, looking to try and improve if he can help it, and put EPL's Raphael under pressure. Romeo Chiavelli is definitely at risk here, I'd have to say, especially deciding to retire out of this session. So the highest placed runner doing another run here will be Hazara in the ET8 boy. Allison in ninth as well, looking to try and improve if he can help it. The first person to come across the line in this final set of runs in Q1 though will be Agonized, his teammate, Danny's teammate rather, as he's just going through into Stowe now as he chucks the car through that right-hander and wants to try and keep the car as close as he possibly can to that curb without going over, and then chucking it through. The final couple of corners lock up at the rear though from Agonized, and that's going to lose him a bucket of time and might actually put him at risk, enough to say, as he comes through the final corner now. Will he improve? He will not. He's 6.5 tenths down as a result of that one, and I don't think he's got enough fuel to have another go at this one. Danny Parr also looking to improve. He can't either. Gatkowski down in 12th as Keke only goes to 14th. Raphael on an outlap has an opportunity to outqualify him, at least in this particular occasion. Igor Jelen will not be improving. Nassim also looking to try and get going in this one as well. Crowding just ends the lap, and he stays down in 18th.
I honestly think qualifying is pretty much done. If I was in EPL shoes right now, as Allison there goes into second, very good lap from his perspective to the line there. Crowding done on a lap. Nassim is just starting up on a run. Raphael is safe. Raphael doesn't need to go on another run because everyone else either ahead of him or behind, including Keke. Keke did improve. It's put Raphael on the bubble. Igor Jelen's out. Nassim is on a run. Crowding is done. Ismail's done. So Raphael doesn't actually need to set this lap time. He can come back in the pit lane and is absolutely safe. It's Nassim the one that is not safe at the minute. His first sector, 600s down, a real carbon copy of what I've seen coming through the first sector with these drivers out on track, not really improving through that first sector. Agonizing Daniel Parodi as well are done on their lap times. So it's all up to this man here, EPL Nassim, on the run now down in towards Cops Corner at turn number 9. The old turn 1 as the rain now begins to hit the circuit as well. Puts him off coming through Cops Corner at turn 9, and then in towards Maggots and Beckett's through 10, 11, 12, 13, and then through Chapel at 40. Nearly invalidates coming through that part of the track as well. But this is now pretty much game time for Nassim through the middle sector. Is he on it? No, when he's 700ths down, he's improved in that middle sector. It's the final sector he's got to really find. Keke found 0.05 of a second in that final sector, and he is safe. Nassim needs to do exactly the same thing here to put Raphael out. It could be EPL with one of their drivers out, but the rain is affecting this track very quickly indeed. I don't think he's improving. He's definitely not improving now because he's spun coming through Club Corner at turn number 18. Nassim is done. It wasn't going to be an improvement, I don't think, anyways. But he is out of qualifying. Really high pressure scenario there at the end of qualifying. Liam Bowman out on top, Allison in second, Furious there in third. And as I normally say in these commentaries for WOR Legacy Division, call me Mystic James. What did I say about TTM?
Oh yeah, absolutely flying with second and third. Allison and Furious and showing the pace and actually getting into the 24s alongside Liam Bowman. And of course then after that, Shazoo Tom, Cameron Dow's 25-0, split by Enzo Soon with a 0 of his own, and Kai Pearson down in 7th. They'll be wondering why he's in 7th and how he's in 7th at the moment. Well, Kai Pearson just needs a 10th and he will be back up towards the front. So really close stuff out there, but the drivers will be keen to retire very quickly because there may be an opportunity to start Q2 on a fresh set of soft tyres. So this Q2 session will be a mad rush if indeed the soft tyre is the better tyre to be on. Otherwise, we will be going on to the intermediate tyres. That rain did come quite quickly, didn't it? 18 minutes, it looked like it was bright sunshine, and now we've got those familiar showers that we have here in Silverstone.
Yeah, definitely so. Mateo mentioned in the chat, is the stream frequently stopping for you as well, or is it a problem of mine? It's stopping for me as well. It could potentially be a YouTube problem, I think, there. If you can hear us, though, and if you can see a few pictures on your screen, everything is fine with the stream, trust me. Liam Bowman is out on top, from Allison there in second, Furious there in third. Very good lap times, actually, from TTM out on track. Tom there in fourth, with Enzo in fifth. Cameron Dives there in sixth, with Kai Pearson seventh. Lou there in eighth, Hazara ninth. Agonized top 10. Danny Parodi there in 11th. Watch out for him if it's Inters in Q2. Gatkowski there in 12th. Romeo Chiavelli through for WOR. Their first driver through into Q2 all season. Obviously, they've only been here 2 races. Keki and Raphael ran off the top 15 as well. Igor Jelinek by 300ths of a second in the end. We can't get to the rest of the field because everyone has decided to ready up very early. But Q2, rain at the end of Q1 suggests to me, I think, Jota, we're going to see rain going into Q2. Perfect.
Yeah, there it is, the rain falling in Q2. So the question is the soft tyre the tyre to be on at the moment, or are the Inters now the tyre to be on? So the drivers will be keeping a very firm eye then on their NFDs. They'll be looking on their screens now. What tyre do I need to be on? Is it the soft or is it the Inter? What I'm seeing at the moment is that it's the Inter tyre to now be on. So DRS will now be disabled, which means we will have the full 15 minutes of qualifying now. But critically, the track will be deteriorating with every passing second, so I still expect there to be somewhat of a mad rush out the pit lane. We'll see.
There will be a mad rush out the pit lane as well, especially if it is going to be these conditions going forward into Q3. Drivers will probably want to get as many lap times as possible out on track. I promise, by the way, this is no bias. I'm just on board with him purely just for the sake of it. Cameron Dowds is coming out the pit lane as one of the first drivers out on track. I didn't move a muscle in terms of the camera angles, I promise. But Cameron Dowds is going to be one of the first out on track, I think, along with EPL Raphael, who's coming out and being the first man out on track. But looking at those set of intermediate compound tires, of course, it can dispose of water about 25 to 30 litres of water every single second around this track. Whether or not, though, they can do that out on track, and whether or not they can find the skill level is a different thing, because driving in the dries around here is one thing, driving in the inters is a completely different thing, and hopefully we'll be able to see the guys at the pinnacle of their best. And I'm honestly leaning towards the likes of Liam Bowman, the likes of Kai Pearson, the likes of Cameron Dowds, the likes of the TTM boys, potentially, who are very good in these intermediate compound tyres, potentially going to be one for pole position, as it looks as if the stream has...
It's really starting to struggle now, yeah.
Really starting to struggle. I'm not sure if it is my end. I'm running fine. CPU, for me, is absolutely fine on my end. I have a feeling it's more of a YouTube problem than anything else.
I'm not entirely sure. I'm struggling as well. I'm going to reduce the quality of it, because this is something that I've experienced in the past. If you've got YouTube Premium or anything like that, the higher bitrate tends to become a problem. So if you are experiencing a few issues, maybe drop the quality down to 720p, maybe 480, and see if that improves your experience. If it doesn't, keep us in the loop, and we'll see if we can try and fix it. It looks like if it isn't a YouTube problem, that Meteor Elgato is actually on its way out, in which case I'll make sure that I get my laptop up and running at some point in the not too distant future. Plenty about laps though. People are getting themselves ready here. They do want to get on a hot lap as quickly as they possibly can. So the first person to get going with that one, I believe, will actually be Raphael for the El Plan Racing team, as he's just going through turn 1.
Judging by down detector, by the way, YouTube is looking like it could be down. There are quite a few reports coming in, apparently, about YouTube being down. So hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully we can just turn radio commentary if needs be. Raphael, though, is the first man out on track, and now our favourite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, albeit from EPL as well, coming to the left-handed turn number 5 on the run now down the Wellington Straight. Of course, used to hold Wellington Bombers back in World War II around this airfield track. 29.4 in the first sector from Raphael, not looking too bad at all. And that comes in towards Luffield at turn number 7. The likes of Jess Gaines, the likes of Aidan Carter have sat there on the left-hand side in the past. I could be sitting there potentially in July as well, as now Raphael comes to the right-hander now of Woodcote on the run now down in towards Cups Corner at turn number 9, with 11 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock still yet to go. Raphael really neat coming through Cups Corner at turn number 9. Now in toward the very tricky section of the track in these intermediate compound tyres, Maggots and Beckett's, and then in towards Chapel, and then down the hangar straight in towards Stowe at turn 15. Raphael's middle sector, 108.2, so already about 6 seconds off through that middle sector on what we were doing in the dry compound tyres. Now Raphael comes in towards the right-hander of Stowe at turn number 15, runs wide of the apex slightly, just try and get a real good mirror image on the apex of the corner. Really neatly done indeed. Now coming past his one of the cars getting out of the way, I think that was one of the Alpha Males, and that comes through the final corner. On the run to the line does Raphael, should be around a 133, 134, 134.1 to start off the night. Not a bad run from him at all. Cameron Dowds is looking quicker though, and Cameron Dowds does go quicker by 0.4 of a second, 33.751, his personal best. And Kai Pearson, I think, is going to be one of the next up to come across the line, along with Liam Bowman. The two Alpha Tauris now coming through the final corner. Liam Bowman, where does he put it? He puts it on pole. Does Kai Pearson follow suit as well? No, factors in right in between both of them. So Liam Bowman, Kai Pearson, set in the early stages here in Q2.
Yeah, both of the drivers with X's in their names in replacement of the vowel in their surnames. Absolutely flying at the moment for Novus Racing. They must be feeling pretty confident out there at the moment, especially to be setting a lap time over 0.5 of a second faster than Furious, and 0.3 if you take into consideration Pearson's lap time as well. So Furious looking pretty quick though in third, but ET8 boys 4th and 5th respectively. Cameron Dowd a little bit off the pace though in 7th now as a result of Allison coming across the line to go 4th. Curiously, his teammate Tom invalidated his lap, so he still hasn't got a lap time on the board, and he's just going through the right-hander now, heading towards the right-hander, and then obviously it'll be going through into, and I keep forgetting this corner all the time, so I'm sure you'll fill me in, and this one and chat will fill me in with the corner as they go through the right-hander and keep it planted as they then go through Maggots and Beckett's.
Do indeed. Tom is coming through Maggots and Beckett's right now. Lou is invalidating on his run as well. We'll see what the Shazoo man can do out on track now, coming through Chapel Corner at the left-hander of turn number 14. 108.5 in the middle sector, so not looking too bad at all. It is pretty ridiculous, I've got to say, in terms of the streaming quality right now. I think I'm getting 144p right now in terms of my quality, so that is not great whatsoever. Liam Bowman, Kai Pearson, Furious, the top 3 right now. Tom now coming through the left-hander of turn 16, through the right-hander of 17. So it looks like the rain is trying to stop actually out on track, coming through the right-hander of 18, on board with Tom to the line, 13th for 34 with a 34.3. Not a great run at all from Tom. His weakness is in the intermediate compound tyres, and that's definitely telling, judging by that lap.
Yeah, they're not comfortable out there at the moment, are they? The Shazoo boys as well on the race that they could be crowned champions tonight. And the last thing they need is one of their drivers not to get through to Q3 as it stands as well. The South driver racing for being Lou, still yet to set a lap time as well. He invalidated his last run, so he's now on a slow down lap and he'll be coming in as well. Curiously, Enzo Soom never left the pit lane, so he's now down at the bottom of 14th place. In fact, he's actually out of the lobby. Did disconnect in Q1, didn't he, as well? So obviously having some intermittent issues is Enzo at the moment. ETA looking to try and stay within touching distance of the title, but as it stands so far, they're not fielding the best drivers, and curiously, one of them's got an internet connection issue potentially as well, so going from bad to worse for ET. But Shazoo are the ones that are scratching their heads at the moment. Where have their pace suddenly disappeared to?
Yeah, definitely so. It is going to be really intriguing, I think, to see how Shazoo Tom will get on. He's not obviously on a run right now. Everyone will be coming back in the pit lane. I would assume BRT Lou's back in the pits. Furious and Allison are on their runs, I believe, out on track. I'm just going to go on board with the telemetry for a second just to see if they are on their runs. Furious is 8/10 down, and Allison is down as well, because it looks like, Jota, the rain has got significantly heavier all of a sudden within the last 2 minutes or so of the session there. It's got significantly heavier. That will mean, I think, the top 10 will remain as they are, possibly right until the end of the session. And that also means anybody that's on a set of intermediate compound tyres right now are going to be really feeling the effect. Allison's in the middle sector here, and he's 1.2 seconds down on what would have been his personal best lap. At least, from his perspective, he is down. Liam Bowman out on top, Kai Pearson second, Furious there in third. Romeo Civelli in trouble, Raphael in trouble, but they're all going to be in trouble because I don't think they're actually going to improve on their lap time. So I honestly think qualifying is pretty much done, and the top 10, I think, are going to remain as they are, which means EPL could have Raphael through for the first time in God knows how long for an EPL drive in Q3.
Yeah, no, it'd be a really magnificent effort from EPL if they manage to get one of their drivers through, especially in these sort of conditions as well. And what will be a bit of a shocker as well is Shizu will be losing one of their drivers as it currently stands. Enzo soon disconnected from this session as well as put ET8 on the back foot. BRT as well in the Sauber also going to be struggling with Lou down in 15th. And a big shock for me as well, actually, is Gatkowski. He'll be knocked out of qualifying as it stands as well. So both of the Novus boys, both of the TTM boys, both of the ET8 boys occupying 1st through 6th. Cameron Dowd's in 7th for Shizu, Hazara in 8th for ET8, NOR 9th with Keke, and Raphael EPL in 10th. So a little bit of a mixed bag, the bottom 4th all from different teams, but Gatkowski will be knocked out. Romeo Chiavelli will actually be quite happy with 12th, to be fair, for WOR. There's no expectations for them, so to have 12th place actually is a good effort. Tom, though, well down the field, and that will be the biggest shock of the day here, because of course they want to try and take the title tonight.
Definitely so. I'm just going to quickly go into mission. I will ride on board with Raphael's lap time in the meantime. I'm just going to go into mission just to try again and fix my Elgato. I think it could be the Elgato rather than anything else. Raphael's just made a huge mistake, though, coming through turn number 4, so I don't think he's actually going to be improving. What I'm going to try and do is actually get rid of the Elgato if I can. Raphael's first sector is absolutely nowhere near 1.5 seconds down yet. Nobody is improving. Nobody is improving out on track. Romeo's not going to improve. You may as well come in the pit lane and retire because, quite frankly, I think qualifying's done.
I think we're approaching wet tyres now, to be honest with you. The conditions are absolutely sopping out there at the moment. For those currently experiencing issues with the stream at the moment, I've done a little bit of research. I will back up what James says. We are currently experiencing some technical issues with the platform that we are streaming on. YouTube are reporting some buffering issues when it comes to live streaming. So what we recommend is reduce your video quality down to 720p, 480p, something like that, and it works absolutely fine. I've got the stream up myself, obviously, as like a nice little replay thing on my screen. I've got it at 720p and it actually runs completely smooth with the occasional frame rate drop to 30 frames per second and it boosts back up to 60. So I think that might be a fix for you guys. Keep an eye on that one and let us know if that is a fix for you guys as well, and obviously keep it in the chat. People keep complaining about the issue. James obviously will keep an eye out on the Elgato situation. Raphael's just coming into the pit lane, by the way. Romeo Chiavelli having another go at this one, actually. He's validated his lap on this occasion. We also looking to try and have another go at this one as well, but the rain is properly coming down now, and I have a sneaky suspicion going into Q3 that we might even be touching the wet tyres now.
Yeah, definitely so. It seems weird because people are reporting issues. I can definitely say from my perspective, you can hear us, I've got CPU running at 10%, which is much lower than what it normally does. It normally goes up here and there just while I'm switching screens and that, which is completely normal. But then again, I'm having no drop frames whatsoever. So it's either an issue with my Elgato actually trying to feed through the video quality. It looks all fine now. I've just reloaded the stream and I've just actually reloaded my scene for OBS for the Elgato, and it is absolutely fine. I will, though, however, turn the game sound down because I didn't realise with me adding the stream, it was absolutely deafening, people. Hopefully that is all okay now, and you can hear us now out on track. Liam Bowman out on top, Kai Pierce in second, Furious there in third with 3 minutes ago in the session. As I say, I have just literally removed my Elgato, put it back in OBS. That hopefully should fix it short term. If you're having any more issues, then honestly, I don't have a clue what's going on, I'll be honest. But it is Liam Bowman out on top, Kai Pierce in second, Furious there in third. Hopefully everything is all good, and hopefully the Elgato is running smooth.
Yeah, it's running smooth on my side again. For those that might not have heard, drop your video quality down to 720p. That seems to have fixed it for me anyway on this one. I think other people also reporting going down to 480p or 720p is helping them as well. So I appreciate it's not full HD, but at least you'll have your full stream available if you just drop it to 720p. Apologies that we're asking you to do that one. It's just unfortunate that the platform is not working quite as well as it usually does at the moment. But it wouldn't be Legacy Division if we didn't have any technical issues or someone was late. That's typically me, actually. I don't know why I'm saying someone in this one. Lou going to cross the final couple of corners, by the way. He's looking to try and set and lap off some kind at the moment. He wants to try and get in the 134s. He's not even going to touch that. It'd be a 136.777, and it's a real testament now to the real horrible conditions out there. And I think we are definitely going to be on the X-Wets by the end of this qualifying session.
It definitely will be, with what, 1.5 minutes to go in the session, just over that. Everyone looks like they're going on a fresh set of inters. All seems good now. As I say, it just seems to be buffering, I think. more than anything else. As I say, I'm not sure. I did an update for my laptop earlier on, so it could potentially be that as well. I don't think it'll have anything to do with it, but it's just really strange. It's one of these befuddling things that I can't even get a hold of, and I'm the one that's streaming. So if I don't even know, then you guys don't even know as well. It is Liam Bowman out on top. It is Kai Pearce in second, Furious there in third, out on track. Allison fourth, Agonized fifth, and Danny Parodi, Cameron Dowd, Tazara, Keki, Raphael. I can guarantee that is going to be the top 10. Rain is not easy now on track. Rain is still staying at the same intensity, which means Enzo Soon there, down in 15th position in the Aston Martin, is out of the session. So that is a big loss, as well as Tom, as well as Gatkowski. 3 drivers that could have made it through to Q3, just falling foul ultimately of the conditions out on track.
Yeah, no, it's just unfortunate, really, isn't it? They've tried the hardest to try and set something representative at the moment, but the conditions are going from bad to worse here. And I think the drivers that are still wanting to go out there, knowing that they're not going to improve, they've got the likes of Furious out there just on an outlap at the moment. I think he's just trying to get a little bit of a sighter, to be honest with you. Try and get an understanding of what these conditions are going to be like going into Q3 and whether the intermediate tyre is actually the right tyre to be on at the moment. I think maybe it's just the right tyre. There is a slight dry line on the track at the moment, but the amount of puddles that are forming, it wouldn't surprise me if we start to see some of maybe the more inexperienced drivers begin to aquaplane going through Q3 if we are on the intermediate tyre, and it might just be that we have to be on the X-Wets.
Yeah, definitely. So it's looking all smooth now, by the way, on my end, and judging by how many of you are now tuning in, at least it's more bearable right now, and I hope it stays that way. Liam Bowman out on top, Kai Pearce in second, Furious there in third, Lou just on up on his lap time again. Tom in the first sector, was that 8 tenths down, or was he 1,000th down? I thought I read that as 1,000th down coming through the first sector. Down. He's 8 tenths down coming through the first sector, so absolutely no chance out on track to try and improve in terms of run, but he may as well try. He may as well try and get another run in. If it's a set of inters, obviously with it being, if it's full wets in Q3, these drivers will be using full wets in Q3, so it negates using the inters. And it also gets rid of that, as you are clearly riding on board with somebody that's having a lot of fun out on track.
Yeah, definitely Gatkowski at the moment, who's drifting through Maggots and Beckett's at the moment. The rear is just not gripping, and then the front just doesn't grip at all, and he loses the rear again. He's got a dry setup on. The car is not gripping at all. He is definitely out of qualifying. He was already 6.5 tenths down in the first sector anyway, was Gatkowski. Romeo Chiavelli also just trying to get a little bit of a sighter as well, knowing he is going to be knocked out of qualifying, and Shazoo Tom entering the pit lane and defeated, to say the least, here for Team Shazoo. One driver through, one driver knocked out in Q2. Remember, this is the race where Shazoo could take the title tonight, and that is not going to help.
It is not going to help either, and that is, with everyone coming in the pit lane, that is the end of Q2, and it is quite a few shocks. Tom out, especially for Team Shazoo's perspective, as you mentioned there, Jota, out of the session. Really big uphill climb now for him, but if there's anybody that can do it around this track, it's him. And I have full faith and belief that Tom can actually get a good result of this, as can Gatkowski, as can Enzo Soon there down in 15th position. But it is Liam Bowman out on top, Kai Pearson there in second, Furious in third, Allison in fourth, Agonized in fifth. If you're on Xbox and looking very pretty right now, filling out the top 5 positions. Daniela Parodi there in sixth, best of PlayStation, with Cameron Dowds in seventh, Hazara there in eighth, Keki in ninth, and Raphael rounding off the top 10. So that means we've got 2 NVR drivers, 2 AlphaTauris, 2 Williams in TTM, 2 Red Bulls in TF10, maybe you said ET8 there with Agonizer's name tag, Cameron Dowd for Team Shazoo, Hazara for ET8, Ferrari for NLR with Keki, and also they're down in P10, and that is Raphael down in P10 out on track, but 1 second the gap between the top 10. Rain is still falling out on track. However, I've got to say, Jota, already, that looks a hell of a lot smoother in terms of the rain, a hell of a lot lighter, and that is going to be really good, I think, in terms of the session. That might mean drive running towards the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the critical one, isn't it? And the drivers have got to go out of their way to try and set the best lap time possible. And I think, let's be candid now. Now we're going into Q3. This is where all the pressure is. And with the fact that there's a little bit less rain out there, would immediately tell me that the drivers are going to be very keen again to get out there and try and shift some of the water on the circuit, because then they can set the fastest lap times possible. Of course, that dry line will start to form, which is exactly what the intermediate tyres are looking for. Drivers immediately looking looking to leave. Furious is going to be leaving the pit lane imminently. Cameron Dowd's also going to be leaving the pit lane imminently as well. So a couple of drivers keen to get going.
Definitely so. And to the guy that is now trying to really dumbfound me, I've got to say, in terms of the chat, come into my shoes, see how you like it, and see how you get commented on if you're stepping into my shoes. Because I guarantee I'm doing a hell of a better job than what you ever will in your life. Cameron Dad's still out on top, Kai Pearson there in second, Keki there in third. We are better get going here in Q3 out on track. Furious is the first man out on track with TTM. And I mentioned at the start of, obviously, Q1, TTM were a team to watch out for. They had a much stronger lineup in terms of this. Allison and Furious, the first two out on track. TTM want to try and get the best of the conditions out on track if it is going to try and wetten up a little bit later on. But TTM making it through into Q3 for the first time in quite a while. Really, really strong showing, I've got to say, from both their perspectives, and really coming to show why they really mean business around this track.
Keeping an eye out as well at the moment on the tyre choices. Liam Bowman, curiously, is currently on a soft tyre. So does he think that there's a potential we could be on dry tyres coming towards the end of this one? I wonder so, because the rain is getting incredibly light out there now, isn't it? So we're certainly still on intermediate tyres right now, but are the track conditions, and are we going to be able to shift enough water that maybe, just maybe, the dry line is going to be enough that we could potentially see soft tyres at the end of this qualifying session? That'll be curious.
It will be very curious indeed. 10 minutes ago in the session, 2 minutes gone, currently out on chat. Hopefully everything will be all good in terms of the stream. I apologise, by the way, for getting very animated there towards that. Can only be described as an idiot, I've got to say, within the comment section. If anybody doesn't like us commentating, tune out. I'm not bothered, honestly. I really am not, because we are doing probably as better a job as what you ever will in your life. So I'm just going to leave it at that, and I'm going to leave you to enjoy Furious' lap time. Now coming through the left-hander and the right-hander of Vale, and in towards Club Corner at turn number 18. We'll see what Furious can do, and we'll see if this is going to be a furiously set lap from the man at TTM, running now down in towards turn number 1 at Abbey, then through turn number 2 at Farm. Runs wide, they're actually coming through Abbey, through the Farm at turn number 2, and then in towards Village at turn number 3, one of my favourite corners out of the track to try, and then get in towards turn number 4 with a Haas there on the right-hand side. That's the UPL man of Raphael, coming out through the left-hand at turn number 4 at the loop, then through Aintree at turn number 5, nearly forgetting where I'm going around this track half the times. Furious, though, coming through the first sector, 29.4, pretty much dead on where you expect a bank lap to be in these intermediate compounder tyres, and we are already much quicker than what we were setting toward the end of the session. Already in Q2, so Furious is looking pretty good, I've got to say, on this lap time.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good already, to be fair. Like I said, these conditions really starting to improve out there now, as well as the light rain is starting to really lighten up now, as that dry line really forming, as well as he's going through into the Maggots and Beckett's complex now. It's critical here that he just tries to keep the power down as late as he possibly can, chuck the car through the right left-hander, then through the right-hander once again, put the power down early, let the car just ever so slightly slide out, and you'll be able to get the best exit you possibly can. Of course, Purple in the second sector is the only person to set a lap time in the second sector as it currently stands, going then through Stowe, and the car will remain as planted as anything at the moment. It's looking fairly sharp, actually. Going through the final couple of corners, though, for TTM Furious, he'll be setting the first lap time on the board. Of course, plenty of intermediate tyres available at disposal, so I have a sneaky suspicion this will be a new set of inters as it comes across the line right now, and it'll be 1:33.5. Lap times are improving.
Yeah, not a bad run at all there, actually. 33.5. Cameron Dowd's now on the run to line. Through 300ths of a second off Furious. Not a bad run there at all from his perspective, I think. Allison to the line, 34.1. Was that what you were saying there in terms of Allison making a mistake through the final corner?
Yeah, he was just drifting through the final couple of corners and then just carried on drifting as he came across the start-finishing line. So I think he knew the lap time was definitely done for, so just wanted to end it in a really spectacular fashion for Allison. So he goes third and well off the pace. Keke comes across the line, obviously beats Allison, but doesn't beat Cameron Dowds, but very small margins here as Keke goes third fast. Is Cameron Dowds down the pace here, or is it just that the track conditions are improving with every passing second? Here comes Danny Park, and then 32.9. The lap times are getting faster.
32.9 from Daniele Parodi, and as I mentioned there at the end of Q2, or at the start of Q2 even, he was one to watch on the set of inters. I commentated actually around on Daniel Parodi in EEC. It was a wet race around here, and he dominated in terms of pole position, dominated in terms of the race, so I'm not surprised to see him at the top end of the standings whatsoever. Furious there in second, Cameron Dowd in third have got something to try and live up to. Hazara, though, however, goes even quicker. 32.689. Very good lap time from his perspective. 2.5 tenths quicker than the Italian there in second. So Hazara all of a sudden coming out to fight, and that means Novus Racing, Kai Pearson and Liam Bowman sitting in the pit lane. Are they waiting for the dry compound tyres to come to them, or are they just purely waiting for some of these drivers to come in the pit lane? They can get a free track and they can get 1-2 in qualifying. It's a very interesting tactic from NVR. Really good to try and see if that pulls off, however.
Yeah, bold call to make. 6 minutes to go in this one here. So the question is will 6 minutes be enough for the track conditions to be good enough for a soft tyre, I wonder? Rain is still falling, but it's not falling enough that I think it would be wetting the track out and even further. Raphael comes across the line just into the 33s of the 33008. So he's just behind Cameron Dowd. He is flying out there at the moment as well.
Boo! Daniele Parodi was 6 tenths up and he's came in the pit lane. Absolutely terrible from his perspective. I was going to say, he was absolutely flying on that lap time. He's flying too much because he's obviously into the pit lane. Doesn't want to see what he was going to set in terms of a lap time. It was going to be around a 32.2, 32.3 on that run. Really quick indeed, I've got to say, from him, if that was going to be his lap time. I think we've got Furious on a run right now. He's 4 tenths up, but he's invalidated coming through the middle sector. Raphael as well is coming through the middle sector split, but Azara out on top, Daniele Parodi in second, Cameron Dowd's there in third. Really looking good, and it's really interesting actually to see. Right now, out on track, top 6 teams are top 6 drivers even are completely from different teams, which is always a good thing in Legacy Division, and I think has set the tone for pretty much the whole entirety of the season, even before tonight.
You know what? That's the absolute maximum it could be as well, because of course 3 teams managed to get both of their drivers through into Q3. So this is the absolute maximum it could have been for a mixture of teams in the top 6. So really, really good stuff here. So as it stands so far, your teams that are towards the front, well, at least they've got the drivers closest together at the moment, is actually TTM in Furious and Allison. But I still think there's a little bit more pace out there. Parode and Allison are very keen to get on a set of softs very quickly. DRS is now enabled, which is usually the telltale sign that the soft tyres are the tyres to be on. Rain is still falling on the circuit, albeit quite lightly. So we are in a position now where the condition of the track is good enough that we can have DRS, which typically means we're good enough to have dry tyres, but they're not perfect out there, which means the dry lines there, if they even dare, though, go off of that racing line, I think they're going to find that they're going to aquaplane and spin. So this is going to be a curious Q3, isn't it?
Me and Isaac George, by the way, have got exactly the same thinking, I think, at the exact same time, because I was literally going to come on to this point. Last person to set a lap has the best chance for pole position. I completely agree. It's going to turn into a one-shot qualifying session. The rain's still affecting the track surface, even though it is dry. Whoever is last to come out the pit lane, and whoever is last to set up on a lap time, is probably going to be the man to get pole position out on track. And it's going to turn into a one-shot qualifying session. The rain is still falling. With 3 minutes to go, this rain will relent before the end of qualifying. Kai Pearson's leaving the pit lane already, so that's interesting. He's leaving the pit lane already. Set of soft compound tyres on the car. We'll turn on and see what tyres everyone's on. Everyone's on a set of softs, but immediately it looks a lot drier coming out the pit lane than what it was previously. So even though the rain has fallen, the track is drying. It's almost as if Silverstone's now experiencing one of them passing rogue showers that Malaysia gets, albeit not the monsoon.
Yeah, I'm just keeping an eye and see how much spray Kai and Liam pick up on their soft tyres here. It looks like they're almost racing in formation at the moment, but I must admit, it's not much. So even offline here, actually, the track seems to be dry enough that it's not going to be causing them too many issues. Now, they're going to take as much time as they possibly can here, because they've got plenty of time to get around and maybe even have a couple of runs here, but they've got to get around. In fact, no, they'll only have the one run, actually, if my math works out right, actually. So they are just going to take their time as people are now leaving the pit lane. I don't blame Kai and Liam for leaving a little bit earlier, though. They don't want to get caught up in a bunch of traffic when they haven't set a lap time. Curiously, though, the TF10 boys have left Agonized out to be in that traffic to deal with on his own here. So it is going to be that one-shot qualifier. Anyone within the top 10 could get pole here, you think?
And interestingly as well, Kai Pearson has taken a very hard approach down in towards Brooklands. He's taking very high first gear, trying to get some of that fuel that he's obviously loaded into the car away, going on to his runs. He's now overtaken around the outside of one of the TTM boys. which is not what I would recommend, to be honest, in this qualifying session, but you never know. Liam Bowman, though, interestingly, down in Brooklyn, he was taking third gear, so NVR were clearly going for a change-up in terms of their strategy, in terms of their fuel usage as well. Looks like to me Liam Bowman might have slightly less fuel than what Kai Pearson's got in the car. Might get confirmation from that in the chat, but Hazara out on top, Daniela Parodi in second, Cameron Dowd in third. I want to hear now, you guys in the chat, who do you think is going to get pole position? I'm immediately going to come out there and say Liam Bowman for pole.
Liam Bowman for pole, potentially. I think they've definitely got a shout of Novus Racing. I'm going to go throw out on a limb here, and I'm just going to, back the boys in blue. TTM Furious is where I'm going to throw my money at. I know, well, why you're not going to put it at Cameron Dowd, why you're not even going to put it at someone like Daniele Parodi or something. But for me, I think Furious has been one of the more consistent runners in qualifying, and I think them alongside Kai and Liam, I think are probably going to be the three that are going to be battling for pole here. But it's one of those weird qualifiers. Who knows? Raphael could get it, maybe even Keke. We'll see what happens. 5th place grid penalty for illegal blocking confirms that it will be World Online restarts.
It will be indeed, and it was that man, you mentioned that, it was Keke who picked up that penalty as well, as Furious is going to set up on his first run. The track is now completely bone dry, so no matter who sets a lap time, it might be the last across the line and sets pole position. We have to wait and see as Furious now comes into the right hand. It's like a car park and behind, coming through into the final sector. Furious, though, across the line, starts up on his run. We'll see what the TTM man can do. Now coming to the right-hand row 1 at Abbey, through the left-hand return number 2 at Farm, and then in toward the right-hand return number 3 at Village. And Furious is looking pretty good and pretty neat coming through the opening corners of this lap. Now coming to the left-hand return number 4 at the loop, and then into the left-hand return number 5. Has, by the way, of Rafaela just about got across the line to set on his run. He's the final man out on track, along with Cameron Dowd, and along with one of the NVR boys, which I think might be Liam Bowman further down. Furious is already purple in the first sector, but it is could be a big comparison in terms of who has got the quickest first sector, and by my calculations, Furious is not quickest in that first sector by any stretch of the imagination, and I'm just trying to get this on because everyone's through the first sector. Who's looking the quickest?
Yeah, I'm keeping a firm eye on the situation at the moment. 27-1 in the first sector for Liam Bowman at the moment, so he's looking very quick at the moment down at the back. Last person to be setting a lap time will be EPL's Raphael, by the way, for those curious. So there, people will be thinking it will be EPL that will get pole based on that logic, but I don't think it will be at the moment. Liam Bowman is flying out there at the moment. Hazara's flying as well, actually, matching Liam Bowman in the first sector as well. Second sector looking fairly sharp, though, for Danny Parodi as well in the TF10 going across the line there. But the first lap time will be coming in then for the man that I thought would be on for pole, but his first sector might have cost him big time as he comes through the final couple of corners now. TTM Furious will go fastest with a 25-1.
25-1 from him. Liam Bowman now coming across the line to the two TF10 boys as well. About to come across the line. Agonized goes quickest. Liam Bowman to the line. Just about goes quickest. Kai Pearson now through the final corner. Is he going to go pole? Yes, he does. 24.830. Raphael to the line. Doesn't manage it. It is Kai Pearson, the WOR console tier 1 man, out on track. Raphael all the way down in 10th position. So the final man out on track didn't actually necessarily set pole position. It was the man pretty much halfway down the field. It was Kai Pearson who took that. And in fact, it's the same lap time. It's the same lap time. I cannot believe it. Kai Pearson has set the best lap time by literally going ahead of Cameron Dowd out on track, is what I can describe it as. Cameron Dowd has set the same lap time as Kai Pearson. Allison there in 3rd. Liam Bowman there in 4th. Agonized in 5th. Danny Parodi 6th, Furious in 7th, Hazara there in 8th, Keke in 9th, Raphael rounded off the top 10. The first and only qualifying session that I think I've commentated on around here, Jota, where the same drivers have set the same lap time at the end of Q3. And it's Kai Pearson who set that lap time before Cameron Dowd, which is why he got pole position.
Wow. I think that is just a real testament to this entire championship this season, isn't it? That's just the epitome of what we've had to bear witness in this season. It's been absolutely wonderful, to say the least here. The sunshine is bright here as we go into the race, but of course we will be committing to that restart to make sure that Keke doesn't have that grid penalty to his name. But wow, exactly the same lap time, rightfully pointed out. Kai and Cameron will be very, very happy with their performance. Cameron maybe less so, knowing he has to start on the dirty side of the track and of course behind the Novus Racing man, who will be looking to try and get as many points as they can to stay within this championship.
Yeah, definitely so. And while we take our intermission break, I am going to try and come back with a deeper voice. I'll be back with you, and we'll be back with you in about a minute and a half's time. Welcome back, everyone, to WOR Legacy Division. We are here tonight for Season 4. It is round 14 of the Championship. It's the British Grand Prix. It's Silverstone International Circuit time. And my name is James Said. Jota alongside me in the commentary box. You can't see us on the stream, but you can see the standings coming into tonight. And it has taken a turn for the worse for ET8. They are down to one driver coming into tonight's race. Endo there in second is the man that has dropped out. His PS5 has sadly died on him, which is the worst possible thing to have, especially for ET8 being in the title contention. Team Chazoo out on top, 74 points advantage over ET8 coming into tonight. Novus Racing in third and 438 points. They need a 29-point swing, and it's going to be really interesting now because our shifting focus, I think, really, Jota, is to Team Chazoo against Novus rather than Team Chazoo against ET8 with them being down to one driver.
Yeah, disappointed for ET8 actually, because I think at one point they really managed to get their season back underway, didn't they? But I think it's just unfortunate that outside circumstances mean that it's unlikely now that this championship's going to fall in ET8's favour. But there's still an outside shot for NVR to get in there at the moment. 1-4 as it stands. If they get first and second, make a 1-2 to maximise the amount of points that they need. That all Chazoo need to do is get one person on the podium and then another person in sixth in order to take the title. So they need to maximise the points here. Liam Bowman needs to get alongside Kai Pearson in this race, and then all Team Chazoo need to do is just get another person on the podium, which they've done many times this season, and then just get someone in the top six, and they will be champions. So it is all about that one. We'll keep an eye out on the situation as regards to the points tally. I've got a calculator. I've built a calculator out of nowhere, so that will keep us in the loop.
It will keep us in the loop indeed, and hopefully you guys will get to enjoy the stream. Sit back, relax, enjoy the ride. 26 laps of Silverstone can throw up absolutely anything. We're going to get going in just a couple of minutes' time, but looking at the drivers out on track, first of all, it's kind of bone dry. It is a bit overcast out on track, which means that the tyres might not be at the necessary point that they would be, obviously, if it was full dry and full sunshine conditions, which means potentially, I think, Jota, if it's a dry race, we can see hards, mediums, mediums, hards. One of the two alternative strategies, either or, I think will be sufficient. If anybody goes on a set of softs, they are going to have to go on a set of hard compound tyres before the end of the race, because simply they will not get the mediums to the end if they pit in early enough.
Yeah, high deck circuit around here in Britain, so there's a very, very low possibility of being able to get a soft medium around here. Hard soft is the likely strategy. Hard medium also potential as well, especially if we get a safety car at some point in this race, which is possible around here for between the 19 drivers. But as regards to the people I'm going to be keeping an eye out on tonight, I'm certainly going to be keeping my firm eye. I think if we're going to look at the midfield battle, CPI, I think Gatkowski in 11th, he's so out of position here. How is he going to be able to handle being in that midfield tonight? Is he going to be able to push up without fault, or is he going to be in a little spot of bother, I wonder? Raphael a little bit out of place as well in 10th. So a few drivers that you would expect, Chazoo Tom in 13th as well, you would expect to be towards the front are actually in the midfield tonight. So are they going to be able to adapt and adjust in order to make sure that they can get the points?
Perfectly summed up. 5 relights about to go out here in Legacy Division. Penultimate round of the championship is underway, and Kai Pearson gets a good stop, but so does Cameron Dowds, and so does Allison. And Allison's already going to be alongside Cameron Dowds in towards turn number 1. It's Kai who leads the way through turn number 1, through turn 2 at Farm. Allison, though, gets a phenomenal run on that set of soft compound tyres, already around the outside into the village in the loop. Cameron Dowds tries to put him out there on the outside line. Liam Bowman there in force, trying to fight on Cameron Dowds. He's also on a set of softs, and he's nearly made contact with Cameron Dowds as well. Also, Carnage in the background, Romeo Ciavelli, Raphael, Gatkowski, all caught up at a major incident further down the field. I think we're all good, though, in terms of everyone continuing on. Furious is side by side with Azara, coming through in towards Luffield now at turn number 7. Tries to go all the way around the outside now. On the back, Cameron Dowds all the way down to 8th after being forced off track by Liam Bowman. That slight interconnection of wheels really happening, but they come down towards Cops for the first time. Kai Pearson leads, Allison in 2nd, Liam Bowman there in 3rd, and those guys on a set of soft compounded tyre, Jota, Allison and Liam Bowman already 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, no, but Cameron Dowds now down 6 positions, getting squeezed off the circuit by Liam Bowman. So obviously Novus applying a bit more of an aggressive strategy here to try and maximise their possibility of staying in this championship down to the final race in Austria next week. But Cameron Dowds currently in 8th at the moment. He's more than going to be happy to make those overtakes back for certain. But I think there is an argument to be had that Cameron Dowds was right to have the space around the outside line.
He was definitely right to have the space. Liam Bowman had that inside line, had that connection, though, with the tyres, and you know with the contact model on this game, it can throw the car completely off, and that's what it's done to Cameron Dowd. Raphael already in the pit lane as well, further down. Igor, John, and Gatkowski. Horrible start for the CPI boys right down the back end of the field. Here comes Liam Bowman to the inside on, and Allison though in towards turn 3 at Village, now in toward the left-hander turn 4 at the loop. Tries to go all the way around the outside, quite literally, pardon the pun, looping it around the outside of Allison, and gets the job done. Beautiful move that is by the Flying Scotsman, and now it's going to be an MVR 1-2 and a showcase of the team tactics that they've got to hold here out on track. Liam Bowman leads the way. Allison, though, not done with yet to the inside line, coming through Brooklands and Nuffield, but it is job done for Liam Bowman, and now NVR have got full control of this race lead early on.
Yeah, certainly do at the moment as it currently stands, though. Anyway, with Shazoo down in 8th and 17th at the moment, both ETA and Novus Racing are still in the championship hunt, would you believe, as it stands so far, with this Ara in 7th. So that is all going to still be up to play for, but of course there's 24 laps of racing to go as it stands so far, and TTM Allison will be doing the best that he can to stay within touching distance of those at the front too, because TTM really need this podium tonight.
Is Allison going to get back on the attack on the back of Kai Pearson and Liam Bowman? The NVR boys, of course, 1 and 2 right now. Allison there in 3rd, Agonise there in 4th, Daniel Parodi there in 5th. Everyone now settling down into their rhythms, as I mentioned. Bit of contact coming through the back end of lap 1, and that was with the likes of Igor, Gel and Raphael. That's why Raphael came in the pit lane. He's on a set of mediums. He ideally needs a safety car to get back into this race, as Liam Bowman sets the fastest lap of the race. On to lap 3 we go. DRS is now enabled, unlike, of course, F1 24, where DRS have been enabled on lap 2 around here. It is going to be lap 3, of course, here, and that is going to be down the first straight, down the Wellington straight, in toward Brooklands and Nuffield, the next couple of corners out on track. And Liam Bowman already got a 6-10th lead, but my fear is, with the man on the set of soft compound tyres ahead, Kai Pearson, WOR Console Tier 1 champion, by the way, if I didn't mention that earlier on, he's there in 2nd position, Allison there in 3rd. Those set of soft compound tyres only last around 8 or 9 laps before they really hit their lifespan and really hit the degradation point on that tyre. So for me, I think Kai Pearson's just going to stick with Liam Bowman within about 5/10 of a second, drag Allison along with him, and then NVR, I think, have got to get TF10 to work with them, Agonise and Danny Parodi 4th and 5th, and those guys in the set of mediums are going to be absolutely critical to how this race pans out from an NVR perspective, because Allison there in 3rd, his tyres will go off, Liam Bowman's tyres will go off, so essentially it'll be Kai Pearson, Agonise at Danny and Parodi at some point for the race lead.
Or a safety car comes out and extends their soft tyre stint, which, to be fair, first incident already happening at the moment as the drivers are just trying to settle down at the moment. So I'm going to keep an eye out on TF10 at the moment. You're right, Agonised and Parodi at the moment. They are looking really sharp on these medium tyres and starting to really put the pressure now on Allison, despite the fact that Allison is on that soft tyre. But Furious is still within touching distance at the moment of those in the front of the front 5, and he is on the hard tyre. So actually, do not discredit Furious at the moment. Apologies, I'm talking donut because I've seen a lot of other pastries, maybe waffle in the chat at the moment.
Yeah, quite a lot of waffle in the chat. I'd love to see that waffling transpire into something worthwhile in terms of actions rather than words, but these words are coming from my mouth, and these words here, Liam Bowman, Kai Pearson, NVR have got full control over this race right now, with Allison in 3rd, Agonise in 4th, Daniele Parodi in 5th. I will mention this, by the way, to that man who is waffling there in the chat. I do like to talk for England, so that is why I waffle quite a lot in terms of commentary. Get used to it, that's all I'm going to say. Liam Bowman leads the way, Kai in 2nd, Allison there in 3rd. Allison is keeping up really good tabs with Kai Pearson there in 2nd, Agonised Daniel Parodi in behind, and look at the battery life that they've got. ERS is so critical around this Grand Prix circuit here in Britain, and Liam Bowman currently on 68%. He is going to be the source of the lambs, because Kai Pearson's got a 92% and Allison's got a full battery. So Liam Bowman, whatever happens in the early stages of this race, speaking of which, here comes the move for the race lead. And literally as I say that, Kai Pearson goes for that race lead on the back of Liam Bowman. And I think they had to do that, NVR, because Liam Bowman's battery is significantly worse off to Kai Pearson, nearly 20%, 20% worse off to Allison as well. So that, for me, is the right call. Swap the positions, Liam Bowman can get a bit of ERS back, and then they can try and take the stranglehold from the front.
The thing is with Novus Racing, though, is that they've obviously got their setup sorted. They've got one on the soft, one on the medium. Both are obviously going to move over to the hard, you think, towards the end of this race here. But the issue we've got is that if it ends up falling out of sync for whatever reason, a safety car or someone manages to get in there and make an overtake potentially and put them under pressure, as soon as that happens, the team tends to crumble a little bit, start burning through their ERS a little bit too much, and then they end up hemorrhaging time as a result. So Yes, at the moment they've got control of the race, but if one little slip-up happens, I can see Nova's just start to slip a little bit. So keep an eye out on that one towards the front here, because that's not all said and done, I must admit. Furious still running riot, by the way, in 6th at the moment with the hard tyres, staying within close touching distance, and has 90% ERS versus the 5. In fact, he's actually going to put Parodi under pressure, go through the right-hand out. Oh, you can, that's one way to leave a little bit of space on the inside line. Furious is looking really quick at the moment on these hards.
He is looking really quick, and honestly, that was nearly like Hamilton and Verstappen coming through Pop's corner for 1 point there, coming through turn number 9. Furious is right on the back of Daniele Parodi. Daniele Parodi, does he invite the battle to come from Furious, or does he just simply try and hold on to the back of his own teammate? I think he's doing the latter rather than the former. Lou there on the back of Nassim as well, to the inside line, gets the job done. He's into 10th, and Zapata through on Ismail into 13th as well. Ismail has had a pretty good start to this race, avoided the carnage early on as well. But Kai leading the way, Liam Bowman in 2nd, Allison there in 3rd, lap 6 out of 26 about to go onto, with Agonized right on the back of Allison, and all of a sudden, we mentioned CTM Allison looking pretty quick. Agonized all of a sudden, this seems like the crossover period between softs and mediums. I can already tell from Agonized's perspective, he is trying a lot more to get on the back of Allison, to get under the coattails, maybe just give a bit of a love tap there to the back of Williams, why not? Coming through the left-hander of Aintree at turn number 5, Agonizes all over the back of Allison, but he doesn't want to put his car in a position that is not going to be his move, so Agonizes just got to think about where he gets this move, and where ideally I think he can get that move is down into turn 15 at Stowe.
Oh yeah, the battling happening at the moment down at the midfield at the moment between Nassim and Crowding. That's the EPL and then the Sauber of Crowding for BRT going around the outside of that right-hander and making a really nice move there to make it a 10-11 as it stands for BRT. Of course, remember, top 15 score points in WR Legacy going from 40 points down to 1. So they'll still be fighting out all the way down the field at the moment. And currently WR Esports on for their first points of the season as well, with Ismail in first, just behind Chiavelli, just in front, sorry, of Chiavelli in 16th, and as it stands, CPI are having an absolute stinker in 17th and 18th.
They are. They got caught up in that lap 1 instant with the likes of Romeo, with the likes of Raphael as well. So that's why they're so far down the field right now, and in 17th and 18th position. They ideally, as I say, need a safety car to try and get back in this race. On to lap 7 we go. Kai Pearson leading the way, Liam Bowman 2nd, Allison there in 3rd. All of a sudden, Furious is right on the back of Daniele Parodi, and this looks an ominous move, potentially, coming through in towards turns 2 and 3. I don't think he's going to launch it from this far back, but Furious has just got to think about whether or not he can get Daniele Parodi. He looks very weak coming through the first sector, and Furious is right on the back of him. Just a bit of a slight snap of oversteer there from Daniele Parodi. But everyone's just happy, staying with the ERS train. There could be a swap for the race lead with Liam Bowman and Kai Pearson, but that's not going to happen. Cameron Dowd flying Scotsman 2.0 here tonight to the inside line at turn number 6 at Brooklands. Hazara there on the inside line coming through Luffield. Now, the PSGL, PSF1 runner-up and the WL Continent Tier 1 runner-up go side by side, and Hazara makes that mistake. Easy as you like for Cameron Dowd. He's doing, he's into 7th.
And with that one, Team ET8 will be out of the championship as it stands. They are now down by 2 points, the 2 points that they need to stay in touching distance of this championship with that overtake. So one team down, another team to go, Cameron Dowds will be thinking about. He just needs to overtake another 4, and at the moment, both the TTM boys and both of the TF10 boys are looking so sharp out there at the moment. Just keep an eye on that battle, by the way, between Daniele Parodi and Furious at the moment. They are really pushing each other around this track at the moment. 60% ERS at the moment for Furious, now down into the upper 40s for Daniele Parodi because he's feeling that pressure as it stands at the moment. Team Shizou's Tom now up to 13th place in that. Try to keep the pressure on here as it stands so far, though. They're still going to be fighting it out with NVR going through this championship here, as it looks like Team Shizou and Sepala getting into a little bit of a battle with Tom there in there for P13 as it stands.
Definitely so, and yeah, there was a significant error as well. I noticed coming through, I think, the middle sector from Lou, BRT's Lou, on the back of his own teammate there, Crowding there in 11th, on the back of Keki. He made a mistake coming through Cop's corner, was nearly out at 9/10 of a second, the gap. Luckily, it's not now, it's 4.5 tenths, but Zapala is on the back of Tom, the man who I mentioned could be a little bit weaker here tonight. He is a little bit down on power, coming now down the straight, and Zapala breezes past him if he's not even there. The Finn is through and he's into 13th. Tom there into 14th. It's not all bad for Tom because he can actually go onto a set of soft compound tyres toward the end if he pits around lap 16, lap 17, goes onto that set of soft compound tyre. Sabala could potentially do the same strategy as well if he tries to really get those tyres out into the race. But it all really depends on what the drivers are going to do. Cameron Dowd's on the back of Furious is looking very ominous, I've got to say. Coming through Maggots and Beckett's and then through Chapel. Cameron Dowd right on the back there of Furious. But I think everyone, as I say, is just in a big old DRS train right now. Boring for you guys as the viewers, hopefully not boring in terms of the stream right now. I see 106 of you tuning in. Thank you to each and every one of you. No matter if you love or hate me tuning into the stream. Kai Pearson leading the way, Liam Bowman in second, Allison there in third, myself, James Head and Jota taking you the action on Legacy Division on what can only be described as a fabulous Monday right now.
Yeah, fabulous Monday, fabulous bank holiday Monday as well in the United Kingdom. If you're tuning in, hope you've had an absolute blinder of a long weekend if you are in the UK. As it currently stands at the moment, if I'm not going to bore you any further, let's bore you with some maths. As it currently stands at the moment, NVR will be outscoring Shazoo by 58 points. They need to outscore them by 29 to stay in this championship. So as it currently stands at the moment, it will just be NVR and Team Shazoo going through to the final race of the championship in Austria to determine the champion, as Liam Bowman getting closer to Kai Pearson, but electing not to go for the overtake. They've both got 100% ERS as well. They're just managing the race. But with those soft tyres on for Liam Bowman and Allison, you have to say Kai Pearson is actually hemorrhaging his own time to help Liam Bowman around this track and try maybe, just maybe, to extend his soft stint enough that he could potentially get onto a hard and feel comfortable at the end of this race.
Yeah, definitely so. Joe there saying in the chat, he worked today, no bank holiday for me. You're going to be working as well in the Premier League, I think, judging by how Leicester's gone on this season. And I'm going to give credit where it's credit due. At least you got a promotion, unlike us. Nassim there with a 3-second time penalty. Igor Jalan, I think, has picked up a 3-second time penalty as well from earlier on in the race. Furious now on the back of Danny Parodi, running down the straight in towards turn 15 at Stowe, tries to loop it around the outside. Can't find the move because Daniel Parodi has just parked that car to absolute perfection coming through Stowe. Now in towards there, into turn 16 at Vale. Danny Parodi just moves across on him slightly, but again, perfect positioning of the car. That's what you do around this track. Danny Parodi into fifth. Perfect defensive driving there from the Italian.
Yeah, curious actually from Furious, though, to be honest with you. The gap was there and then suddenly it wasn't, so Parodi just shutting the door after realising the gap was slightly there. It's a bit of a precarious way to do it, but Furious now down to the lower 30s in ERS here, so he's going to start to hemorrhage time from the electrical power in the back of his Mercedes power unit in that Williams, so he needs to start considering a little bit of a harvest now for the next couple of laps and just try and get back into the 50s if he can help it.
And with somebody like Cameron Dowd right behind you as well, I'd probably think about harvesting that ERS a little bit more, because Cameron Dowd, I will bang on about it again and again on this game cycle. His ERS management is probably the best on this game cycle on console. And he is there on, at the minute, 85% of ERS, Furious on 40%. 40% more, that translates in my eyes to about 20-25 mile an hour extra down the straight if Furious is to use that battery up and Cameron Dowd isn't. And already it seems like there is a split beginning to form actually between Danny Parodi and Furious. Cameron Dowd might just have to try and get on the power here to try and get the move done down in towards Stowe, but I think everything is going to be okay. Kai Pearson leading the way, Liam Bowman there in second, and then it is Allison in third position. Myself, James Head and Jota taking you the action, of course, even Legacy Division right now. Another 3-second penalty, by the way, picked up Jota for crowding, who's there down 11th.
Yeah, crowding, getting a crowd of stewards around him at the moment with that penalty now for track extension issues. That's the third one of individuals as well with that time penalty now. So they're starting to come in now a little bit here. The last thing that they need to do, nearly halfway through this race, by the way, it's absolutely flown by, hasn't it, this British Grand Prix? And then as much as that it might be a bit of a DRS train at the moment, it is all about those extra little bit of a positions. Late breaker from Agonized, putting Allison under pressure, then going through the left-hander and put the overtake button then to get along side by side. The soft tyres are not going to be working too well here, and this is where Novus will now be pushing each other around the circuit as quickly as he possibly can. But Agonize loses the position to Allison. He stays in there, but the gap is opened up ever so slightly. They'll have to go around the outside line on this occasion, around left field on this occasion, but Agonize will end up having to again not have that position. Allison is defending really well for third place for TTM.
Yeah, very close indeed. Agonize was looking to try and loop it around the outside of left field on Allison. Those tyres clearly beginning to go off the ball. Dirk mentioned in the chat about him going on a set of mediums. I totally agree with that. I think he will go on a set of medium compound tyres. If they put it early and got an undercut, they could have went for a set of hard compound tyres. which is what I was saying a little bit earlier on. But yeah, I think he could go set of medium compounder tyres, Agonize, put him under pressure, swap for the race lead between the two MVR boys as well, and there could be a swap here because Furious goes around the outside of Danny Parodi, goes all the way around the outside through Stowe in towards turn number 15. The camera angles are absolutely diabolical. Danny Parodi, though, on the outside line. Now on the inside it goes Furious coming into rail. Might try and get the switch back. Is it through? Goes Furious to the inside of turn 18. Tries to get the job done. Danny Parodi on the outside line. Shooting this as Furious's move. Down in towards Abby and Fom. They're still side by side, wheel to wheel as they come through turn 1. And it is Furious's move. Brilliant racing out on track. Furious 30s into third. Danny Parodi there in fourth. That is how you do it at Silverstone.
Yeah, Allison pitting, it was critical for Furious to make that overtake and get that move. So then Furious and TTM still on the podium as it stands, of course, on the inverse strategy, those Furious. The issue is now is that in using up all of his ERS now to try and get that done on Danny Parodi. So he's now got to try and harvest ERS while staying in touching distance of two drivers that have actually been looking after their medium tyres here. So I still think they've got a little bit of life in them that might be making them just a little bit faster versus the hards. But we know what Furious is like. He can manage it. Can he stay within touching distance and critically within the 1 second DRS zone of Agonized?
And in all of that as well, Liam Bowman and Allison, by the way, came in the pit lane. So they're both into the pit lane, set a medium compounder tyres on the car. Judging by how the guys on the set of hards could potentially run in this race, they could go 3 laps longer into this race and have 3 laps better tyres. Cameron Dowds, though, might chuck me up with this because he's going to go to the inside line, running down in towards Stowe. I thought he was going to think about it on Danny Parodi, but he's not going to get the job done. On the PSGL PC F3 champion, Cameron Dowds, though, looking to the inside line of his former rival. Tries to get the job done, but he can't. Mistake, though, in behind.
Mistake from Kai Pearson actually towards the front here, going through into the corner, lost the rear ever so slightly, and he realised that, so he's now using overtake to stay within touching distance of the of Agonized, of course, racing for TF10, not ET8, as his label identifies. Going through then into the next set of corners, will he put Kai Pearson under pressure here? This is the last thing that Novus need at the moment. Is one of their drivers under the pressure, needs to maintain the race pace at the moment to try and get Liam Bowman back into this race, because of course he's got a bit of clean air in front of him now on those fresh medium tyres. So is Agonized going to look for the overtake, or is he going to tuck in behind? He's going to stay in behind. He's not going to put Kai Pearson under pressure on this occasion. They're halfway in this race now.
But this is perfect for Kai Pearson as well, because Liam Bowman in the pit lane, look at how much time those two, Allison and Liam Bowman, are going to gain on Kai Pearson. The gap between Kai Pearson and Liam Bowman right now, 26.2 seconds. Pit stop around here is around about 28.29. So already they're coming out about 2 seconds ahead of this pack that's going to come potentially in the pit lane this lap around. However, if I'm looking at Kai Pearson and Agonize, I'm continuing on a couple of more laps into this race to try and get a set of soft compounder tyre towards the end. We could potentially see that. I think Dirk mentioned it in the chat, if I'm not mistaken, just a little while ago. Agonize, though, is going to go for a beautiful move to the inside line, down the straight, in towards 10.15, easy as you like, and that will mean Kai Pearson, I think, will be in the pit lane with relinquishing that position. Does he dive right? No, he doesn't. He completely jukes me. I would have done that, but then again, this is why I'm not good at this game.
No, he might as well hold on here a little bit and try and go for the soft tyre now, because I think in this situation, if they've got people who have been able to pit on the 10th lap for a set of soft tyres, why not go to around about lap 16, 17 and go for a set of soft tyres at the end of this race? We were saying earlier that the medium and soft is unlikely around this circuit, but is the tyre degradation actually not as bad as originally thought? So if that is the case, medium and softs could be the way to go here. Hard to soft is absolutely the way to go if you want a really quick final stint where you're not going to see really any drop-off. So that's what Furious is going for, but Liam Bowman is setting the precedent now with a fresh medium tyre, 28.151, fastest lap of the race.
Fastest lap of the race, and look how much time he's gained on Lou as well. Lou was further down the field, I think ahead of Crowding, and that was about a 2.5 second difference. 5.5 seconds coming out the pit lane. 3 seconds already gained from Liam Bowman and Allison on the back, but Liam Bowman has started to hit traffic. He's got Igor Jelen ahead of him out on track, coming now through into the left-hander of Brooklyn's at turn number 6. Oh, it's Liam Bowman nearly catches the rear end there. Now coming through the corner, this will be one of the simplest overtakes you'll see all night if he can get the move done on Igor Jelen. Igor Jelen, though, is having absolutely none of it. Liam Bowman's going to have to do this the hard way if he's to try and get the move done. Kai Pearson coming back and agonised, by the way, down the straight, gets the job done. He's into 15th as well, but Liam Bowman has to get the elbows out. The elbows are well and truly out because he gets the job done coming into Maggots and Beckett. He's through as Igor Jelen, in all of that, picks up a 3-second penalty. Furious into the pits as well.
Yeah, everyone now coming into the pit lane, possibly soft tyres going on Furious's car, and I have to say here on this one here as he comes in. But yeah, no surprises there from Igor Jelen defending from that position. He has every right to do so, and he's looking for it again, you know, going down the inside line. It's the next corner off, very close to a collision off the rear wheel to the front wheel, but in that occasion, Liam Bowman will stay in P15, but Igor Jelen is looking for it, defending from Allison at the moment as well. CPI are really unhappy at the moment with their car underneath them at the moment. This is one of the worst races I've seen from the Cedar Phoenix Igniters in a long time, and Igor Jelen is clearly not happy at the moment as he tries to keep his positions aggressively, but he's lost two.
Yeah, he has lost two, and Allison nearly lost the arrest range there to Liam Bowman. That could have been absolutely critical for Novus Racing and their championship fight. CPI, I'm not saying are helping MVR in any way, shape or form. Igor Jelen had the right to defend that track position, but in the end, defend the track position in the right way is what I think I can try and say on this stream as well. Kai Pearson, though, leading the way. Agonise in second. Danny Parodi in third. And as I mentioned earlier on, call me Mystic James once again if you want. Kai Pearson, Agonise, Danny Parodi are all in the same boat. They're all in that set of medium compound tyres. They are really helping out in terms of the race. Tato there mentioned about helping out Gatkowski. Helping out Gatkowski, who's 12.8 seconds off Ismail. I don't really get that, to be honest. But then again, Kai Pearson's into the pit lane. Is this going to be for a set of soft compound tyres? However, it's Agonise is very close to the back of him into the pits. Will this be for a set of soft compound tyres coming on the car? I'd imagine so. They can get 11, 12 laps easily out of the set of softs towards the end here, and this will be for sort of red wall compound of tyre for Agonise, who's into the pit lane. Set of softs on for him. Kai Pearson into his pit box. This will be a set of soft compound of tyres as well, and all of these guys will get to the end of the race quite easily. As Agonise, I thought jumped ahead of Kai Pearson for a second, but it's just my eyes.
Yeah, I think it's just ever so slightly got caught out there, I think, on that one there. As Allison gets the fastest lap of this race at the moment, flying at the moment for TTM, 6th place behind Liam Bowman at the moment. Right there, though, for the drivers, now on a wet roll set of tyres by Lip Rowley, flying high at the moment now with the soft tyres. They'll be flying high as well as Kai Pearson going to be defending for BRT Lou at the moment, who's going to stay within touching distance on these fresh medium tyres. Of course, the medium tyres are switched on at this point. The soft tyres have still got a little bit of a few corners just to warm up, but of course they will warm up very quickly because they are the softest of the compounds available to them, and he elects not to go for the move on this occasion, does Kai Pearson, rather lose a little bit of time knowing he'll gain it on the straight going down towards Stowe. So I think he'll just tuck in behind, stay behind the Sauber of BRT Lou and make the progress that way. Igor Jelen in 7th, by the way, in this one, and Daniele Parodi getting overtaken by guess who? Cameron Dowd, who now leads this race out the front, by the way. And just saying, by the way, Tom down in 15th place, fresh medium tyres, not having a bad race at the moment. He's just fallen a little bit unlucky as regards to the pit stops, I think.
He has indeed, but he's on the back of Nassim, and judging by the guys that are coming in the pit lane, they might be around about Agonised, Techie, Nassim, Tom, that sort of area. This could end up really working into Tom's hands, but it could also work badly into Team Jazoo's hands on the part of Cameron Dowds, who's into the pit lane, along with Daniela Parodi, along with Hazara, who will go into a set of soft compound tyres. Gatkowski leads the way, 1.6 seconds over Allison right now. Gatkowski still yet to come in the pit lane, along with Igor Jelen, but now we've got a battle for the front two. Allison ahead of Liam Bowman, who I think got the move done last lap around. Liam Bowman now on the back of Allison. Look at how far clear they are, though, of Kai Pearson, who's there in fourth position around the outside of Farm, by the way, as I come on board with them in towards Village. Job done for Kai Pearson. Now he's in clear air. My only concern is 5.8 seconds. Igor Jelen, I think, tried to recklessly go for the inside line there on the back of Kai Pearson. But can Kai Pearson gain that 5.7 second gap? It's very likely that he can, but is it too much work for him as Luke gets the inside line of Igor Jelen past them very easily?
Yeah, Igor Jelen's in full Miami spec Kevin Magnussen at the moment with how he was defending. He had every right to do so. It was his position to defend. There are people in the chat say, well, what's he defending for? Well, it's defending his position. He has every right to do so. So we've got yellow flags waved in the second sector as we have spun Sepala around around there as well. It looks like we've also got a bit of a... No, was it a spin? No, it wasn't a spin. I don't think it's Shazoo Tom who's just managed to get the move done around as well. So, yeah, very curious at the moment what's going on out there. Gatkowski leading the way. Make that now Liam Bowman as he now makes the overtake. Oh, Allison getting close as well. He wants to get that move done. He doesn't want to lose too much time versus Liam Bowman because TTM have got an outside chance potentially winning this race at the moment, but that might have cost him a bit of time versus Gatkowski, who's still trying to defend it, but with those old hard tyres, he's not going to find that he hasn't got the grip versus everyone else, especially the man behind him, yet albeit 3 seconds back on these fresh soft tyres.
And all, yeah, I was going to say, all of this gap as well, beginning to really fold in. Kai Pearson is 4 seconds off the race lead right now. So any question, I question potentially that he could not get to the end of the race. He will get to the end of the race, and he'll get to the end of the race in the front pack, because Furious there in 5th has now been gapped by Kai Pearson. Good news for NVR, bad news if you're a TTM supporter right now with Furious, and he would be fuming, I guess, potentially with that P5 right now, looking to try and hold off the attention to Lou, Keki and crowding. BRT, by the way, I just want to throw a big mention out to them. They are having their best race of the season in an absolute mile. I think they had a podium early on in the season with one of their drivers. It might have been Joe Murphy. Lou there in 6th, crowding there in 8th, crowding right on the back of Keki. BRT are looking in their strongest point I think I've seen in the last 5-6 races, and they're doing a brilliant job as Cameron Downs is right on the back of Agonised. Coming through Maggot to bet, surely not. No, don't even dare.
Yeah, he's not going to look for that. I've done an overtake round there as well, actually, in an old ERL league, I think it was, when I did the little switch back round this corner here, and actually he's looking for it. It's Cameron Downs not going to go for it on this occasion, though. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Great performance so far from the Saubers. BRT are doing quite well here, and curiously, Agonized is giving the position up to Cameron Downs so he can let Daniele Parodi have a go at this one. Brilliant. So he's given 2 positions up to allow Parodi to keep the pressure on Cameron Downs. So curiously, good teamwork from TF10, even though they're going to lose a position as a result of it. Gatkowski, though, in the pit lane to get off the old hard tyres. So, all answers on a postcard. Yes, Cameron Downs gets his move done on crowding for P7 going into turn 1. Answers on a postcard. Who's going to win this one? It's really up in the air at the moment. Are the soft tyres going to go the distance? Probably, possibly. The medium tier tyres will probably. Daniele Parodi and crowding. Wow.
Insane move, and there goes Agonize as well to the inside on and crowding, trying to crowd him out of the apex there, coming through turn number 4. Agonize, agony at the minute because he can't find the way through. Hazara on the back of these guys as well. This is going to be a thrilling end to this Legacy Division race. There goes Cameron Downs up the inside of Keki, just out of camera shot, now on board with him, goes around the outside through the field. Job done for Cameron Downs. The Flying Scotsman 2.0 might be a 2.0 tonight with Liam Bowman currently leading the way, but Cameron Downs is showing why he's no mean slouch. He's showing why he's a 3-time consecutive race winner in WOR Console Tier 1 this season. Job done on Lou. Cameron Downs, the machine out on track rather than himself. He's there into 5th. He is closing down and bearing down on Furious. But now, Cameron Downs, 48% of ERS, Furious on 30. If I was in Furious' shoes, I'd let this move done because Cameron Downs is your biggest friend right now to try and close in on Kai Pearson, Allison, Liam Bowman. Here he comes to the inside line. Job done. Cameron Downs, Thuney's into 4th, and now they can close on Kai Pearson, Allison, and Liam Bowman.
29 points is what Novus Racing needs in order to stay in this championship hunt. Currently, they will be getting 45 points more than Team Shazoo as it currently stands at the moment. Tom is having an absolute stinker now down in 17th. He needs to pick up the pace, try and aim for a top 10 finish if he can to try and get Shazoo a possibility of taking this championship. But as it stands so far, it's all falling in fair warn to Novus Racing to take it to Austria.
Yeah, definitely. So, Tato there in the chat potentially with Sapala and Tom. I think they may have made a bit of contact. I think Tom and Sapala may have made contact rather than actually a spin for each of them. If they did, it's a spin for each of them at different parts of the track. But they're down in 16th and 17th. They're off the pace now. They could have been in a much better position compared to where they are right now. As Keki's on the back of Daniel Parodi. Ismail there having a good race for WOR as well, with Nassim in 13th. To be fair, WOR Esports have done a fantastic job. Again, like BRT, having their best result of the season by a mile. I'm not saying that their 19th and 20th position last week for WOR was nothing short of an absolute disaster, but at least they're giving this one a good go. It's much more their track. Ismail's had a very good race in the EML around here in the past as well, so he's definitely leaning on that. Nassim right in between them, who's a very good, consistent driver on his day as well. WR will be really feeling buoyed, I think, right now, being in 12th and 14th. As Allison goes for the race, moving Liam Bowman, and Hazara about to get crowding.
Yeah, I'm impressed with Romeo Chiavelli tonight as well. Fastest lap of the race out of everyone on circuit so far as well. So he's obviously enjoying it out there at the moment, as is the rest of the WR team, obviously sitting in F7R's vacant seat. So they're going to be really happy at the moment. Tom now up to 16th place, overtaking Igor Jelen. We're looking to get an overtake on Sipala, who's currently struggling with ERS management now. He's got the red blinky light at the back of that Ferrari now, which means that he's going to be harvesting energy from every corner he can possibly find. So Tom looking to try and get to the top 15, get a point. That's an overtake on Lou for BRT. Amazing stuff between these two.
Yeah, amazing stuff for Danny Parodi. Sorry to cut you off there, by the way, but Danny Parodi just sent it to the inside line and turn number 3. Got the job done. He's into 6th. Lou in 7th. If I had my camera on, by the way, I'm absolutely smiling from ear to ear because this race is living up to expectations and then some. In terms of the racing, we've got 5.5 laps to go. Beautiful helicopter camera on board Allison, who currently leads the way. Liam Bowman 2nd, Kai Pearson in 3rd. But are we going to get the second best battle on console that we could get on this game cycle? Kai Pearson against Cameron Dowd. We have had it numerous times in WOR console Tier 1 this season. Cameron right on the back of Kai, 1.4 seconds still to gain, but he's on the same level of ERS as Kai. Liam Bowman's got 98% of battery right now. He's doing a fantastic job. Will NVR take control of this race now on this lap? Yes, they are. Inside line, job done for both of them. Liam Bowman through, Kai Pearson through. Inside line? That's an interesting move there. Kai Pearson into the race lead. Liam Bowman lets him through. Kai Pearson into the race lead. On that fresh set of softs, is Kai Pearson now going to gap Liam Bowman and Liam Bowman becomes a guinea pig to the rest of the field? Potentially so.
Curious that one, actually, to say the least. Allison staying in the top 3, though, and they'll be happy with that one for TTM. They need this one. It'll be a great performance from TTM, by the way. One of the best performances of the season between the pair of them in 3rd and 5th. So exactly what they'll be looking for. Just a pity that it's happening towards the end of the season. Cameron Dowd's doing a decent job themselves there for 4th for Team Shizou, but as it currently stands at the moment, it's looking more and more likely that we are going to be going to Austria for this championship decider. But as it stands, it's looking fairly good for Novus Racing. They're going to outscore Shizou by 50. They need to keep him within 29, but I don't believe they're going to take the championship lead tonight.
And you know how Austria can be in terms of driving standards, is what I will say around that track as well. Hopefully we'll get some good racing there next week if the championship is to be decided around there in Austria. It might be a pretty hard deal for E8 to try and close up in, especially with Enzo's absence here tonight. But hopefully they'll bring Matteo to the table and they can try and fly with E8 once again. But Kai Pearson leading the way. Liam Bowman in 2nd. Stranglehold on this race again from MVR. And it's pretty much like what we've seen, I think, from MVR at various different points throughout the first half of the season, where they were just completely dominant towards the rest of the field. And I already knew with Kai Pearson and Liam Bowman in this lineup that they would be absolutely up for this. They're 1-2 out on track. Currently holding off Allison and Cameron Dowds. Cameron Dowds has probably used the best of his tyres right now as well to factor in. TTM are right in there. This race could still go any way. Do not even discount the man in P6. If he's got the tyres still left come the end, Danny Parodi, normally an overtaking machine towards the end of the race, he's there in 6th. Do not discount him out potentially for podium.
Yeah, keeping a very, very close eye at the moment on Cameron Dowd. He's starting to push a little bit now, 50% ERS at his name, so he's now begun a little bit of a push for 3rd place as it stands. As again, Shizou will not be taking the title tonight. It will be going all the way to the final race of the season in Austria, but they're doing a damn good effort, Cameron Dowd, to try and maximise the points that he can. It's just a shame his teammate has only got the one singular point as it currently stands after overtaking Sepala earlier on. So 3 laps to go, 2.5 if you incorporate the rest of this lap now. Looking very much like Novus have done the maximum they can.
They have done indeed, but can they hold off Allison, who's got more battery than Kai Pearson ahead? Way less even, sorry, than Liam Bowman there in 2nd. But Allison is the one to watch out for. On that medium compound tyre, does he get invited in by Liam Bowman down towards Stowe? I think Allison probably knows better not to try and move down in towards Stowe at this point of the race. Zara, though, knows otherwise. To the inside line of crowding, gets the job done through turn 15 at Stowe. Job done for him, and that is crucially points for ET8. ET8 can still try and take this fight. Agonise there. Speaking of former ET8 man, he's there down in 11th position, the team TF10 man, as there's 4 wide nearly in towards the chicane at Valen Club. Now there's 2 wide between Tom and Ismail. Tom around the outside of Ismail, trying to go around the outside. Tapala on the inside line as well. This, by the way, is for the real scraps towards the end of the race in terms of the points, but it's still a battle nonetheless as Tapala bears down on Tom in towards turn number 1 after earlier bit of contact. Doesn't go for the move done. Everyone remains as they are. Liam Bowman behind Kai Pearson for the race lead. Allison there in 3rd. MVR have to try and take a stranglehold now in this race. Otherwise, they've got a charging Allison and a charging Cameron Dowd and potentially Furious and Danny Parodi to deal with on the final lap.
Yeah, Danny Parodi will be looking really quick towards the end of this one as well, but he's already using his overtake a little bit too early, in my opinion. So he is trying to keep within touching distance of Furious. Furious's race has just gone a little bit downwards, hasn't it, since switching over to the medium tyre, because he was looking really quick on the hard tyre. But Cameron Dowd's getting sharper and sharper towards Allison here. The medium tyre is obviously not at their best at the moment. The soft tyres still clearly a little bit of life left in them at the moment as Cameron Dowd hits his second wind. Overtake used a couple of times. DRS available at his disposal, but at this point, Allison is more bothered about the front two here. He decides not to go for the move on this occasion. 24-26, couple to go.
Keki through on Lou as well, up into 7th. He might be out of the front 6 battle, but he's certainly going to try and fight with Lou and Azara toward the end of the race as well. He's looking pretty good to try and make ground. Cameron Dowd's trying to make ground on Allison as well. Coming through the right-hander now of onto the Hamilton straight, down and towards turn number 1. Cameron Dowd opts to slip back, and now NVR take that stranglehold on that race that I've so wanted them to, really. Liam Bowen now becomes the guinea pig. He becomes the sacrifice for NVR, with Allison and Cameron Dowd's 3rd and 4th. He is going to be defending for his absolute life on those medium compounder tyres compared to Allison and Cameron Dowd's in behind. They've got to watch out though for battery. Cameron Dowd's doesn't want to use too much battery, neither does Furious. They're on the same amount of battery right now. Allison is on less battery than Liam Bowman is. Liam Bowman's got a full amount of battery. Allison there in 3rd. So I'm talking about Liam Bowman becoming a sacrificial lamb, but he's got full battery in this race to still win this. So NVR have got a stranglehold regardless of what happens.
Yeah, Liam Bowman will be very happy to just swallow up a position. It's a question of who's going to be taking first, who's going to be taking second. As it stands so far, it'd be wise to make sure that Kai stays in front because, of course, the soft tyres are going to be more likely to burn out quicker than the mediums that Liam Bowman's currently got on. But Allison will be very happy to swallow up any positions that Liam Bowman decides to give up. The question is, though, is with the amount of overtake he's got left, he's actually burning it here, and he will be dropping to as low as 10% going down the straight. But with Liam Bowman having 90% ERS, I just cannot see for the life of me where Allison is going to find any pace on the straights to make the move on Liam Bowman. He's surely got to go for the dive somewhere, as we've got a slow car, and it looks like one of the cars, it's Gatkowski, has gone for a little spin somewhere, and he's gone very slow indeed. It doesn't look like he's got a puncture, but he's very slow.
Wheel disconnect perhaps for Gatkowski, judging by how slow he was coming through Cop's corner there. I
think he's out of fuel. I think he's out of fuel. We've got a yellow blinking light at the moment appearing on the screen at the bottom left. And that immediately tells me Gatkowski has run out of fuel with a lap and a half to go.
Well, he hasn't run out of fuel. I think he's just trying to save fuel to get to the end of the race. That might be the question there for CPR.
He's looking to get laps, so then he doesn't have to. Yeah, he's looking to get laps, so then he doesn't have any issues.
Oh my word, drama, controversy potentially to come still here in Legacy Division. Kai Pearson leads the way, Liam Bowman in 2nd, Cameron Dowd though on the overtake, coming out now through Woodcote corner, down in towards Cop's corner at turn number 9, but Allison is defending very nicely from Cameron Dowd's. Tom and Romeo Chiavelli are side by side, coming through the middle sector as well, but still on board with the battle for the lead. Kai Pearson leading the way, Cameron Dowd tries to loop this around the outside, coming towards Maggots and Beckett's, then in towards Chapel, and then down the hanger straight for the final time. Kai Pearson will win this race. It's just regardless of who's going to finish 2nd and behind. Cameron Dowd is now flying at the back of Allison. Here comes Furious as well to try and nick a podium of both of them to the outside line now, in towards turn number 15 at Stowe. Cameron Dowd still on the inside line, tries to fend them off. It's going to be an MVR 1-2. Who's going to end up in P3, however? Is it one of the TTM boys? Kai Pearson now coming through the final couple of corners. Cameron Dowd is still side by side with Furious in the background, but Kai Pearson to the line. NVR 1-2. Allison gets the line in 3rd. Furious in 4th. Cameron Dowd in 5th. Brilliant ending to that race. Absolute top-notcher here in Britain. One of the cleanest races I think we've seen all season in Legacy Division. Kai Pearson out on top. Liam Bowman in 2nd. NVR 1-2. Shazoo 5th and 11th. By my calculations, I've got a GCSE D in maths. I think Novus have got to take this to the final round of the championship in Austria.
Yeah, Novus have indeed taken it all the way to Austria. ET8 are officially out of the championship. They needed to outscore Shazoo by 2 points. They have lost by 15. So they're out of the championship. It will be between Team Shazoo and Novus Racing at the Austrian Grand Prix next week to decide the winner of WOR Legacy Season 4. As it stands, Shazoo on 563, Novus on 510, ET8 on 474. So that is it for ETA. They're going to hope to try and get to the runners-up spot, but it will be about Shazoo and Novus at the Red Bull Ring next week.
Yes, and hopefully you can tune in for that. It is back to usual regular timings, by the way, next week in terms of racing on a Tuesday rather than on a Monday. Hopefully that means we get less obligatory comments towards us in the commentary box here tonight. Raphael and Igor Jelen to line agonises DNF'd. He, I think, will get that place rescinded wherever he finished out on track. He'll get that place re-put back in. Get Kazki to the line. Horrible race for CPI right toward the back end of the field. We should be getting Allison into the commentary box. We should be getting MVR hopefully in. Yada yada yada. Apparently we're not. Apparently we're not. Apparently we are now. Hopefully we are back live now. Apologies about that. OBS decided to take it down the absolute pan towards the end there. Good job it happened right at the end rather than during the race there. Hopefully that also means I can join back to the Discord commentary box very soon. But Kai Pearson takes the race win from Liam Bowman in second, Allison there in third. We should be hearing from the top three here. Furious there in fourth with Cameron Dowd in fifth, Danny Parodi, Keki, Lou, Hazara crowding top 10. Tom Ismail, Romeo, top 13, finished for WR. Very good race from their perspective. Nassim Sapala, top 15. Raphael gets fastest lap of the race as well for EPL. Not sure if that gets counted for the fastest lap point. And then Igor Jelen Gatkowski, agonised, by the way, 15 seconds down. So I think he finished behind Tom, so that's where he'll get added back in terms of the results. Fantastic race there out on track, Jota. Apologies about that. My OBS decided to die right at the end there, but at least we got to the end of the stream before it did die.
Yeah, no, really, really good race in the end. Obviously, Novus Racing now back in this title hunt, and they will be taking it all the way to Austria ETA. Unfortunately, now out of the championship. Make a good point, though, from Luke in the chat, who actually says, well, of course, if there are any time penalties that need to be applied post-race, that could actually swing the race back in the favour, or the season back in the favour of Team Shazoo. So, of course, all of that information will be provided to you guys over on our Twitter at WOR League _. But in the interim, we do have to speak to the drivers, and I think they are all there, ready and raring to go.
They are ready indeed. Do you want to drag them over?
Yeah, I'll drag them over right now.
Fantastic stuff. And we shall be speaking to these guys very soon indeed. And I think they're all in. Hopefully everyone is in. Hopefully everyone's got connected up okay. We can now speak to the man who finished in P1 out on track. Who else but the WR Console Tier 1 champion in Kai Pearson. And Kai, great race from MVR's perspective. You absolutely needed that 1-2. Talk us through the race because it was just pure magic, I think, from MVR.
Yeah, no, I think throughout the race, the main thing that got us the 1-2 was the teamwork. I think we worked very well together. We also had a little, well, we didn't get helped, but Alison fighting with Cameron at the end helped us a lot because Cameron was on like a lap fresher than me, and that is quite a lot for soft tyres. So yeah, that was good. But yeah, managed the 1-2. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, 1-2 finish out on track. I think the first 1-2, if I'm not mistaken, since F7R in the sprint in Australia. So congratulations on at least trumping that record for now. It was a really hard race, I've got to say, in terms of ERS management, in terms of DRS management. But in terms of your management overall, along with Liam Bowman as well, your battery life was so much better than everyone else in the field. And that was pivotal going on to those final few laps.
Yeah, no, I was actually quite scared because I thought I wasted too much battery trying to gap the people behind, and then Cameron came through on the lap fresher and caught us anyway. But yeah, they used a lot fighting behind, I guess. And then Liam helped me by backing up a bit, giving me a bit of a gap for the last lap.
Yeah, and I was honestly questioning in terms of commentary as well. You being, I think, 6 seconds behind coming out the pit lane, and I was like, is he going to really catch these 6 seconds on the softs? But honestly, you made it look really easy, and I think that just is testament to NVR and what a race I think that was, not only from your perspective, but also from a team perspective. Going into the championship fight, going into Austria next week, you are in that championship fight along with Team Chazoo provisionally. So what do you have to overcome on what Team Chazoo has got in terms of the points? Where do you think you are better at in Austria?
Oh, that's a hard one. I don't know. I just hope my race pace is good normally, and then that's what I just bank on. I think today, with the 6 second gap, props to Crispy, man. You know, like, I basically, when Bowman pit, because there's only 2 soft runners, loads of people would have caught back up, and it'd have been hard for Liam and Allison to stay top 3. So I purposely went a bit slower just before I pit, so they could get more of a gap. which worked very well. But in Austria, I think, well, Austria's just carnage, to be honest. Turn 3 is very risky, and a lot of people get damage all the time. I had damage in WOR when I won the championship. So yeah, as long as we don't get damage, I think we can probably get a 1-2 again.
Definitely so. Bit of controversy in the chat with what's being said about Liam Bowman potentially getting a penalty. I'm sure we'll come on to him in just a second. But Joseph, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions?
Yeah, no, one question really, Kai, because obviously it's a really good performance from Novus. It's exactly what you needed to do in order to keep your title hunt alive. 52 points then, a gap between you guys and Team Shazoo. I think the question I'd like to sort of ask, I think, really is what is the agenda moving into Austria then? Because you guys are going to be fighting it out probably with the best that Team Shazoo can offer as well. You know, what have you guys got to do in order to try and claim the 52-point gap that you guys have got to Shazoo to take the title?
There might be a bit of, I don't know, tactics involved with it. I'm not gonna say what, because that'll spoil it. But I think it's gonna be hard to overcome that point gap. Like we're gonna have to finish in the top 3, and well, Shazoo not finish at all. But they seem to like finish every race with a good result, so it's going to be very hard to overcome that.
I fell off a little bit today, though, because you managed to outscore Team Shazoo by 49 points. So obviously you'll need one of the drivers at Team Shazoo to do what they did tonight and be towards the back. So, you know, all in fair warning for you guys, you'll be hoping for that a similar result tonight for next week. But, you know, moving forward, obviously we've got the end of the season next, you know, for the final race. You know, moving forward beyond that, Novus have set themselves a real precedent now. They are a precedent-setting team in this community. You're one of the front runners considerably going into the next game cycle. I'm curious to understand what you guys have got long-term ahead of F124.
Well, I don't think I'll be on console or in Novus in F124, so I can't really comment on that, but I'm sure Liam can when you interview him.
Appreciate the insight in that one. We'll speak to Liam about that one, but first back to you, James.
I'm now going to put a bad pun in here and saying hopefully you can clutch more racers out on track on PC moving forward. That is ridiculous, I know. But WOR Console Tier 1 champion Kaya Pearson and race winner, of course, here in Britain. Go and enjoy evening. And we can now speak to the man who finished in P2. It is Liam Bowman, the Flying Scotsman himself. And Liam, again, back to the MVR point with the team tactics. It works so well going on to those final 3 laps. You had a full amount of battery. I said in commentary you potentially could get sacrificed if that is the case with Allison and Cameron behind. But that wasn't needed to be because you were just simply too strong out on track from a team game. Talk us through your race.
A plan to get to P1 as soon as possible, and then just kind of work from there. And then pit stops, Kai did a bit of a backing up at the start of just after I pit, so I could get a decent, better gap, so I wouldn't get actually swarmed by everyone at the end. And then it was originally going to swap with a lesson, but I don't know, we just didn't swap that much. We swapped like once or twice, and then I just saved my battery, didn't use any until the end when everyone else started using behind me, and I was just trying to defend P2 for the rest of the race.
Yeah, and that defensiveness, I think, really came into effect because not only have you had 2 wins this season in Legacy Division, you had to try and use every skill that you've built up throughout sim racing to try and defend the positions. Were you in fear that Allison and Cameron Dowds could get the jump on you? Obviously, you were on older tyres, I believe, as well, compared to Cameron at least. But did you feel they could get the jump on you going on to the final 2 laps, judging by, even though you had the difference in ERS, that they might just have the pace over you?
Not really. I know I had more battery than them. I got told that they had like, I think Cameron had like 50 at some point, so I wasn't really worried. I had 100%, and I didn't even have to use that much on the last lap. I think I used that to like 70 or something. So I wasn't that worried really.
Which I'm glad about, and I'm glad you weren't worried because it comes on to my my facts going into Austria. Team Shazoo has obviously been the informed team going in the last couple of rounds. The mystery round, of course, Cameron Dowds is P1 and they're P3. You picked up a P1 and 2 here tonight. Judging by Novus's form, though, in the last 6 races of the season there, we have seen really good results like tonight, and then we've seen really poor results. So what is the mind focus? What is the mind shift going into next week in Austria? And is that a track that Novus will do better than Team Jazoo at?
It all depends. To win the championship, we're going to need a bit of luck, probably, because, I mean, Cameron's a great driver. He probably won't. We're going to need some luck to something to happen. We're just going to try get the aim's just to get a 1-2 and then just pray on their result not being good enough.
Yeah, that's the hope and expectation. But as I've been saying the last couple of weeks, anything can happen in sim racing, and it may just will next week in Austria. Jota, any questions?
Yeah, a couple of questions really, Liam. I'm sorry to bring up what happened on lap 1, but it is a question that's on the lips, I think, of a lot of people between you and Cameron. Going through into turn 4, turn 5, there's an argument to be said that you did force him off track and you gained an advantage from that one. So do you think that you were right to minimize the space that he had? Do you think he should have given the position up, or do you think that in the end maybe it was a bit too aggressive?
I thought there was enough space left. He was at my rear tire. I just got tire hooked, and I couldn't turn to the left. I was trying to turn, and I got hooked, so I couldn't really move anywhere when I tried. So I don't think that's my fault, to be honest.
So be a question for the stewards, no doubt, when he gets impeded in, because if we do end up losing positions as a risk, obviously Novus might end up losing out on a possibility of fighting for the championship going into Austria. But, moving beyond Austria is the question that I would pose to Kai, that I'll pose to you instead then is, Novus Racing obviously are now a team that are going to be considered front runners in the console sphere. You guys are going to be wanting to push for the best drivers to be a competitive force at the front moving forward. Going into F124, what's the long-term plans for the team, do you think?
Probably just try to win everything possible. I mean, I'm probably not going to be fighting at the front of next game. I'm going to try move to wheel. So it's going to have to rely on some other people, which definitely can happen. I mean, Gabor has the ability to do that. A few other people do. Aim's just try to win everything possible. It has been the whole game. It'll be the same next game.
Long-term plans to stay with Novus then?
Yep.
There is your note then. Thank you very much then. Back to you, James.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to see what Liam Bowman can do, especially if he transitions to wheel. Is he going to be like a new Mubarak, potentially? Who knows? Go and enjoy your evening, Liam. And you are very welcome indeed. We can now speak to the man who finished in P3, and it is TTM Allison. And Allison, I seem to have been the only one on the commentary box that was bigging up TTM's chances tonight going into Silverstone. Talk us through the race from your perspective, and a P3 finish is definitely what TTM would have wanted.
I started on softs, but I was expecting more people to start on softs, to be honest. There was only Liam and me, so basically we had to work together. And when we pitted, I had like 100% battery, but then we came, we were overtaking like the cars that stayed out, and 2 of them were trying to like slow us down or something. I don't know what they were trying, but I had to burn all my battery so to stay with Liam. So yeah, the cost us maybe a little bit, but yeah, the strategy wasn't ideal, to be honest. With Kai on the softs, he was so much faster than us. Like there was not really anything I could do to stop NVR on 112. So at that point, I just decided to try to keep Cameron behind so Scott could overtake him last lap, and that worked. So yeah, I think we managed it pretty well in the end. I don't think we could have done anything better.
Yeah, it did, and I looked at the grids before coming into tonight, and I immediately was drawn to the Allison Furious lineup for TTM, and I thought it was a really strong lineup coming in tonight. I know how both of you were very strong around this track as well, and I think that battle with Cameron Dowds just showed what mettle I think you've got in terms of defensive driving, in terms of trying to hold him off. Furious then trying to go around the outside of Cameron Dowds on the final lap of the race, which was an insane battle. And from TTM's perspective, I mean, I'm looking through the stats here. It's probably one of your best results within the last 4 races, I think, in Legacy Division. So you've got to be happy with, no matter what happens final race, you've got to be happy with what's come out of tonight.
Yeah, of course, it hasn't been the season we really wanted it to be, so not really good results. As maybe we scored like a podium once or something, but this is definitely the most points we scored all season, I think. So, yeah, that's very good. It's just a shame that we in the previous races couldn't do this at other tracks. This is more a track that's more, um, yeah, it's more like a basic track. So, yeah, normally, yeah, the track just suits us really. I think in EOR we also got the win, and yeah. I think we got lucky as well with Kai slowing down everyone. But yeah, we take the points, of course. It's just yeah, it's just a shame we couldn't do this before this race. We had so much pace in like previous races, but every time something happened, so yeah, this definitely feels good to be P3 P4.
Yeah, it's always good, I think, to see TTM doing well. I know TTM have been doing well in other team events as well. I think they won a PC event, which I forgot the name of, so don't come at me in the chat if I forgot it. But I know TTM have been doing very well recently in team events, and I think that just comes to show here tonight, obviously in Legacy Division. Joseph, any questions?
Yeah, no, big fan of what TTM are bringing to the table, as you guys know anyway. So it's fun to see you guys up in third and fourth. It's a matching best result this season and a best team result entirely this season with that third and fourth. The only question I've got is that last lap overtake on Cameron. That was a really well structured team overtake, wasn't it? To just box Cameron in, go around the outside of Stowe, and just take fourth place out of the hands of a driver looking to try and maximise his points haul to try and get the team a championship. That was ice cold from you guys.
Yeah, I knew he had like the same battery as me, so all Furious had to do was just save battery, and then in the last straight he could just fly past him. Then in the last corner we just only thing we had to do is not crash with each other, which almost happened, but we played it perfectly. We are experienced drivers as well, so we know what to do in those situations as well.
Yeah, no, really
So
ice cold overtake, to be fair, to get that sort of third and fourth place. As I said, it's the best team result you guys have got in WR Legacy this season, obviously matching the best result of third place this season. It's your third podium this season as well, actually, which I think comes as a bit of a shock, really, considering that you're seventh place in the standings overall. But there is a small points haul potentially to NLR, potentially for sixth place. And it's even smaller between that for fifth for TF10. So you're still in that battle for potentially, a top five finish. So is it something that you guys are going to be striving for, or you're just going to enjoy Austria and see where you end up?
yeah, we are expecting some carnage to happen in Austria, so maybe we can capitalize from that. Maybe who knows? I don't know how many points we are behind. But I know it will be difficult to beat NLR and TF10, but anything can happen. We can have luck and win in a race, or the others can have they can crash or get taken out or something. So yeah, we will go to Austria and see what happens. I don't think we will bother too much if we don't finish P5, but if we do, of course, it's really nice.
Yeah, provisionally you're 49 points behind TF10 and you're 36 behind NLR. So and you need to basically duplicate the performance that you've done tonight next week, and then obviously hope that results around you don't go the way of their opponents. So there is a slight possibility for top five finish. Top six is definitely in there, but nonetheless, it's been one of those seasons, hasn't it, for TTM? You guys, I think we're expecting a little bit more this season, but it's been a really tightly contested competition this season. So, the final question really is about what TTM are going to be expecting for the next game cycle. I know you guys are going to be pushing for some big things, some big upgrades, if you will, to the team. So, what are you guys striving for F124?
I think first of all we want to do better in most tournaments because we haven't won like a very big tournament yet. We have finished in top three in some tournaments, but no, in World that hasn't really gone our way. So that's our main goal, I reckon, for next game. Qualify for World and then be at least top five. So we at least do better than this game. Then yeah, who knows? Maybe we can in next season maybe we can be at the front. Maybe who knows? No one knows how the next game is for people. Everything will change probably, but the people who play a lot in the beginning will be very fast, and it will take some time probably for me to get up the pace. But once we get there, I think we can challenge for the win and for championships maybe. That would be our goal.
Rumor has it is that we're going to be in for a little bit of a blinder of an upgrade or a change, whatever you want to describe it as regards of the handling model. So it's going to be a fun time nonetheless. See how people adapt to that one. Thank you very much. Back to you, James.
Yeah, definitely going to be fun in terms of us in the commentary box as well. Moving on to F1 24. Alison, go and enjoy your evening.
Thank you. You too.
Very welcome indeed. And that rounds us off very neatly for tonight. In terms of the interviews, in terms of the top three, big thank you, of course, to Kai Pearson, to Liam Bowman, and to TTM Allison for joining us in that session. Looking at the calendar, going forward into next week, that just jumps out at you, doesn't it? At round number 15, Austria, May 14th. That is the correct date. We are going to be back on a Tuesday. We are going to be back with you for the season finale next week for Austria. And with a championship still to decide, Jota, anything can happen in Formula One, and it usually does.
Yes, famous Murray Walker words, I think, is absolutely a given in this one as well. It's been one of those championship season 4 of Legacy Division where nobody has really run away with it this season. Team Shazoo have probably generated the better of the results, but they've had a bit of a slip up tonight in Britain. If they slip up again, Novus Racing will be very happy to take the title out of their hands. This is going to be an absolute binder. Thank you very much for watching, wherever you are across the world.
And remember about Team Shazoo as well. We had that confirmation with Cameron Dowd and Tom doing the final 2 races, so they are going to be their lineup, I believe, for next week as well. I think Kai Pearson and Liam Bowman are probably going to be in there next week for Novus Racing. You're just bound to see the rematch, essentially, from what we had tonight in Britain. But I really hope that you did enjoy the stream. No matter if you loved or hated, we are all here for one thing and one thing only, and that is for the passion of motorsport and the passion of F1 sim racing, which, speaking of which, does happen tomorrow night as well. So if you do want to tune in for that, you can do. But that is it from us here tonight. Big thank you to everyone that tuned in. Big thank you to the top 3 for coming into the terms of the interviews. Big thank you to this man here, sitting on the right-hand side of me in the commentary box in terms of Jota. Fantastic to have him alongside the commentary box going throughout this entirety of the season. And big thank you, of course, to everyone that is going to be tuning in advance next week for the season finale, May 14th. You do not want to miss any single second of what that championship is going to throw. It's Legacy Division. Anything can happen. We're going to end off the stream right here. But until next week, the Red Bull Ring, everything to play for between Novus Racing and Team Shazoo. Who will come out on top? You tune in 7:15 p.m. UK time next week. Big thank you to everyone tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, next week, for the season finale in Austria, goodbye.